You think this is fancy?
Yeah, honestly, compared to Mandy and I, at 1,010%.
But y'all are just starting.
Granted.
Oh, there's the train. Hold on.
Okay, the train.
So we don't talk when the train's coming.
Well, it's the train of truth.
It's the train of truth.
So what that means is it's arrived here, you're here, and we're going to kiki, we're going to keep it 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're so excited.
And it's the train is signaling that this is right. This
Yes.
is the right thing to be doing.
Yes.
It's like God's on the train going, toot, toot. Good job, girls. We just caught the train of truth because we never know when it's going to come by.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is really loud today. They're really into this.
Yes, they are.
That conductor is really into
He knows.
Brittany. He must be a Love is Blind
he's
watcher.
a Love is Blind fan. And should we tell the podcast who's here with us?
Yeah. Well, I guess I just blew it by saying it.
You blew
Blew it. Hey. Yes, everybody, welcome to the All That to Say podcast. For some of you, it might be your first time listening to us because you're a huge BRITTANY MILLS fan.
Woohoo!
From season 6 of Love is Blind. And we are huge fans of yours as well.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to be here. This is precious. And I love the two of you. So
Thank you.
very, very excited to be here.
I love someone describing us as precious.
Oh,
Because I
it
feel
just
that
says
we
she
are
doesn't-
not.
Wait, no, okay, but y'all definitely are. Like, y'all
really
are just
nice.
like, I just want to squeeze.
That's
like
really nice.
Thank you so much.
We're precious
cute
and sweet.
aggression.
Yeah.
Like, with like babies. Okay, well, I have cute aggression with like all ages.
With people. I like that term.
Cute aggression.
Cute aggression.
Like where you
aggression.
sometimes you want to just like bite someone, but like in
Yeah.
a nice way.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
You
like,
want to just taste
it's
it.
really bad.
I'm that way with old people. I love the elderly.
A lot of people are.
Yeah.
It's either with old people or babies.
Yes.
Whereas like I'm like, no, I have cute aggression with everyone. I just want to squeeze.
Yeah.
I love that about you.
You're the
I love
sweetest.
that. Okay, so Brittany, we're not going to go too deep into your past history, all of that sort of
Yes.
stuff, because we really do want to talk about Love is Blind. Okay. And I'm sure that there are other things in your life you would like to discuss every once in a while, and that's cool, but that's not what today is for.
It's okay. We don't care about that stuff.
No, and I do.
I care.
Okay, fine. We'll go into a little bit. We'll go into it a little bit.
Because part of her past is what led her to going on the show, I would think.
I'm sure it is. Okay, the other thing is we didn't listen to any interviews that you did.
Yes.
Because we want to be genuinely
That's good.
surprised by your answers.
Yeah.
And we didn't want other questions to seep into ours and change what we thought we were going to talk to you about either.
Right.
So just know that we watched the show. We developed our opinion about you from that.
Yes.
We then went to a podcasting event and saw each other. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, she really is as nice as she is on the show. It was not a pretend thing.
No.
You weren't just acting for the cameras.
No.
No.
And then we saw you at the Bob Awards. And you were as lovely there too. And you really turned Matt on.
Yes.
Can I say that?
Yeah, I mean, say it because I get in trouble mentioning one other man's name on this podcast.
Yes.
I get
Yes.
I get in trouble. So it was delightful to me how excited he was to see you, to meet you, to talk about you afterward. On and on. I was like, keep it coming, babe. Like honestly. And I said everything he said is true because you are stunning. I told the podcast they would get to see your skin.
Yes.
She
can't shut up about your skin, so we do need a skin.
Yes, the skin, the makeup, it's
She
giving.
needs a skincare routine,
It's so
run
good.
through the whole thing.
It's so
Your
good.
skin
But I'm
is
obsessed with
phenomenal.
skin. So when I see someone in the bright daylight with such good skin, it's like, wow.
But what about my skin, Brittany? You didn't say anything about me. It's fine. It's okay.
Apologies. She was talking directly
No,
to me.
she wasn't. It's okay because I sleep in my makeup every day. I don't wash my
mother-
face.
No, we don't need to do that. My mother used to do that, and then I saw a video of mascara in people's eyelids.
No, I
and
know.
I
I've
have
seen
a
it. Someone
fear.
sent it to me.
Ooh,
and
like
I'm
an
just like,
infection.
yes.
Yes.
It
Goes
builds
underneath.
up in the pores and then it makes it. Yeah.
inside of your eyelid.
I don't have
AKA,
that.
This is the message: do not sleep in your makeup.
Okay, that's enough for me, dog.
I will lift up my eyelids for this here podcast. I will
For
go
this here
show. I will go show y'all they're Gucci good. I just don't. I can't. It's just not a part of my journey.
Yeah.
It's not something I've ever cared about. I will never care about it.
Okay.
The hard part for me is I was able to rely on, no, I don't need Botox. I've got really good skin because I was 72 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
And that fat was doing so much for my face.
It was.
And I didn't know that
It really was.
until I lost it. And now I'm like,
Oh my God.
oh my God, it's crazy how many wrinkles I actually have. And I know people probably a year ago wanted to be like, you're just thick. Like, it's not that you don't need Botox. You just have enough fat in your face. And now I don't. And I'm really struggling with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a struggle.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you, though, you look phenomenal.
Right.
Well,
Have you
And your
seen the
skin-
transformations?
Yes, I've seen the
Yes.
transformations,
Yeah.
but also, too, your skin is not as bad as you think it is.
I really do appreciate you saying that because I'm almost 43 and I've still had nothing done.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
43.
She's never had any
nothing
treatment.
done.
Nothing.
No, I've never even so much have had no laser, no nothing. I have not touched my face with anything.
You look better than people who have had.
But I've had 2 facials. She bought them both.
Okay, and we love that.
She bought them both. She was like, this might be the only time I get to watch your face get cleaned. So I'm going to buy them for you.
Suck it all out. Please. Charity, suck it out.
Skin, what is it? The skin bar?
The skin bar.
Do whatever you can while you have her
whatever
hair.
you
These 60
can.
minutes, work it in.
We're gonna buy you like the extra additions
Yes.
to put on there.
She did say, and I did tell her recently, like, I get it. Now with the lack of fat, I understand that maybe this is when I do need to
Right.
to try
Yeah.
and wash and put the products on and everything because I still am not going to go get Botox. I'm just not going to
Okay,
do
and
it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
That's
fine.
fine. And
You can live
honestly,
a natural life.
I don't
So
have
live
the
to you.
money and I don't have the time and I don't have the commitment. And frankly, I do think I would like the results.
Mhm.
And I don't know that I want to commit to liking the results.
Oh yeah, like the
Okay,
addiction of it.
Because
Yeah.
you do once you get it, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
I look real good.
I look real
because,
good.
okay, I have highway 75 on my forehead.
Yes, this is what you told me. I'm
Major.
like,
That's mine.
No way.
That's where I get wrinkles
Right
is my
hand.
forehead.
To
Yeah.
God, my esthetician, she looks at me and she's been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah.
And she's like, Brittany, baby, you have the strongest forehead muscles
Uh-huh.
ever.
Really?
seen,
Uh-huh.
ever. And I'm like, Miss Beth, baby, you got a lot of clients and you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
That's a compliment.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. You're right. You're right. That is a
Thank you, Miss
compliment.
Beth.
You just want to be a winner at something, right?
Yeah.
And if it's that,
It's that,
you know
it's that.
what?
This
I'll
is the
wear my
cross you
gold
bear.
medal.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad gave them to me. It's like my eyebrow muscles,
Yeah.
crazy pants.
Yeah.
And so you have Botox in your forehead?
I do.
Because you're
Yeah.
so young, you don't probably need it anywhere
I
else,
do.
right?
Yeah, I don't have.
Okay.
I just all here,
Okay.
and in my 11.
You're 11 lines. I'm the same way,
I'm
girl.
actually quite shocked that I don't have worse forehead lines, or
I
especially
agree
11.
because you are expressive.
And I'm so angry. Like
Yeah.
looking at my phone all
so
day,
angry.
all day, every day. I'm like this. No, I'm just going duh foop. You know, like
literally.
that. It is a running. What is it? Ticker
Ticker.
through my brain every day. Duh foop. And just like my face shows that.
Yeah.
So the fact that it evens back out at rest is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I'm still struggling with it. Anyway, enough about me.
Enough about you and your skin.
Yeah, enough about me. But Brittany is a makeup artist, so I do want to plug her biz.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Because you recently left your 9 to 5, right?
I did. Hallelujah. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay. Okay.
Hands up.
Can I get an amen, a hallelujah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Thanks
you
to
take
him,
part in.
capital H.
Capital H-I-M.
Yeah.
Because you announced this on your Instagram. I think I saw.
I did,
And
I
so
did.
this was your teaching job that you.
Nope,
No,
that happened.
no.
She ended that right after COVID.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, we
okay,
love a woman that
okay.
keeps up.
I
Okay.
did.
Okay. Then
I
what
did.
was your 9 to 5?
Okay,
Then I guess I
so-
didn't know.
yeah. No, that's fine. I was a teacher in Columbia, South Carolina, where I'm originally from.
Okay.
I moved to Charlotte in June of 2022.
Okay.
Wait, do you know my sister-in-law lives in Chapin?
Oh.
So I go down there all the time.
Wait, no way.
Yeah, I to Columbia and outside of it, Chapin, yeah.
What's your sister-in-law's name?
Last name is Blaylock. She married into Blaylock, though. She sent us a package.
Oh, it's
and
over
we
there.
are going to open it in a bit. She
Oh,
sent us a
cute.
surprise package.
Oh,
And
cute.
so, yeah, it just made me think of it. I forgot that you were from Columbia,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm down there often. Did you go to school down there
I was going
too?
to say, where'd you go to school?
Yeah, I went to Pineview Elementary.
Okay.
Oh, I'm at college.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love Pineview.
Okay, but I meant, okay, well, how old is your sister-in-law? Maybe
Oh.
we all went to
She
school
didn't.
together.
She's just married and lives in Chapin,
Understood.
but is
Okay.
not from there.
Scratch that.
Okay.
I went to the University of South Carolina.
Okay. I was going to say,
Yeah.
it's got to be Clemson or South Carolina.
Yeah.
Also, I think she's in her late 40s, so she could have
well,
birthed you, Brittany.
yeah.
Yeah.
Birthed me.
Yeah.
I think her stepdaughter is older than you are. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
definitely y'all didn't go to Pineview together. No.
Got it.
But you're a Gamecock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Through and through.
Through and
Oh, I
through.
love
Okay. That's fine. That works for us. We're not really competitors. With
No,
them in
not
any
with-
way,
not with
right?
that.
Not with
No.
our
Not with that.
colleges. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appalachian girl, NC State.
And Florida State.
Okay,
There you
her
go.
husband went to Florida State, but she
But I am most
real
committed
hard.
to Florida State.
She is most committed,
There you
mostly
go.
because of like the outfits and stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Period.
That's it.
Yeah. Period.
Feathers.
Okay. I know you were raised by a single mom.
I was.
You have a blended family, like
I
a
do.
larger extended blended family. But from talking to you, it sounds like it was kind of you and your mom against the world.
Oh, 1,010%. And I
Okay.
feel like it's still that way too. So,
Okay.
yeah, my dad passed away when I was 5 years old.
Yes.
My mom got remarried, and when I was probably like 7.5,
Okay.
around that age. And then my stepdad ended up getting MS when I was in middle school. So he has progressive MS, and she's essentially been like a caretaker for
Wow.
15 years now. Well,
Wow.
they've been together for 15, going on 16 years. He's had MS for about 10,
Wow.
something like that. But anyways,
Your mom is strong.
yeah,
I'm gonna throw that out into the world because
Yes.
to have lost your dad and now to be facing this.
yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy. I actually want her on our podcast.
Yes.
because we talk about like so much about like women empowerment and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
But like, I mean, she's had a best friend commit suicide before due to drug addiction.
Obviously.
There's so much,
So much hard.
There is so much. She had a hit out on her one time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, from a crazy ex-boyfriend.
Who is
Yeah.
putting hits out on people? Can
Yeah.
we stop?
Stop that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's not nice.
That it's giving
Well, it's,
70s, 80s.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's
And
the year of
that's-
our Lord 2024. We need to stop with that.
Right.
Stop.
But yeah, that was like before
She's just
I was
lived
born.
she's lived a long,
lived-
hard life.
Yeah, right.
And so you've watched that.
I've watched that, and so essentially everyone asked me, they're like, "Oh, well, what do you work for?" And I'm like, "I work to support myself, but I also work to like give the life that my mom actually finally deserves."
So sweet.
So with that, quitting corporate,
Yes.
I was at a headhunting job. I was on the sales team.
Okay.
And then finally I just realized, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this forever. And
Right.
then also too, I just want to tap into like my own businesses and also being able to go and do as I please.
Yes.
I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Okay.
I do not mind admitting that.
Okay, that's good. I like that people can say it.
Yes.
Self-awareness.
Oh.
People are so busy running from what makes them them,
Right.
that they lack all self-awareness then, right? Because you're instead of just saying, "Hey, this is kind of who I am. Can I harness this for good?"
Yes.
How can I say, it's not my favorite quality about me, but I bet I can make something good out of it.
How can I use
You're just
that?
running
Right.
from it, right? Yes, how can I use it? So, I love that you're like, I'm a control freak, but that means what can I control well?
Yeah.
And why not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like when I tap into the things that I can control, they're like, boop, 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 boop,
Good.
boop. I mean, and
Yes.
people look and they're like, how did you? And I'm like, well, because I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
it's
you
your
can get
gift.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
we can call that a gift, right?
Right.
Encanto.
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 No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, here, let me say this.
You've
Let
had
me
a very
say
busy
this.
year. I get it. No, not even booked and busy.
Okay, yes, we've been booked and busy, friends. But this is the thing, is that, yes, I was on Love is Blind, and we'll get into that in a second. But when they reached out to me asking, like, oh, you know, like Love is Blind, and I was like, oh, question mark, what is that?
You had never seen it.
Never.
Whoa, girl.
And they were like, I'm sorry, you don't know the largest, or like the number one
Netflix,
show on the
number
largest
one
Yeah.
network? And I was like, no, because I don't watch TV. Because truly, when I go home, I get off of work all day, and then I'm working again for
Yep.
my,
Makeup.
5 to 9.
Yep.
And then I'm doing something else and doing this and doing that. And I'm like, I need silence. And
Yes.
I'm like, I don't even know why. I have 2 TVs in my house.
Yeah.
And and they're nice. I have
Yeah.
no idea why I have them.
Yeah.
They know
Okay.
they're
So
involved.
TV is our love of our lives.
Yes.
I want to say.
And good.
Yeah.
You said when you die, you want to be buried with a TV.
Yeah, I just
screaming.
when people are like, what do you love? What are you really passionate about? I'm like, television.
Yes.
No, the first
She
time I
truly
met you
is.
in person, you told me that you loved TV.
I love television.
Yeah.
I love it. I love shows. I mean, I went to school for broadcasting. Television's
Okay.
been a huge part of my life.
And that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So my co-host Mandy,
Yes.
we always talk about how she's like, yeah, like put something on in the background and like work and do something. And I'm like, oh God, anxiety attack. I'm like,
Because then you have
where's
to
my
have a
straight
decision.
jacket?
Yes.
Do you think it is just making a decision
I think,
about like what to watch, and then I've wasted time, and what if I get sucked
no,
in?
it's
What is it?
It's the fact that like I'm trying to work and there's a distraction.
Yeah.
Because I too am so ADD that I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I just need a flat line thing
Yeah.
that I need to focus on.
Yes.
And having a distraction is just not going to work.
That's why I ride in the car silent a lot of times.
Same.
I don't mind it being silent in my car. Now, if I need to listen to our podcast or
Yep,
start to do,
sure.
Something like that, but I have no
I
problem.
love the silence, especially if I'm coming from somewhere where I've been talking a lot,
yes.
a lot of noise, a lot of sound. I've got to get in the car and just
My
cruise,
friends call
cruise
me
in
a
the quiet.
serial killer. And also sleep with the blinds open. So I'm like,
No, not the blinds open.
I know. And my
Is it
mother,
'cause
I
you're a
guess I
great
really
sleeper?
shouldn't put
Are
that
you,
out there.
No, are you a sound sleeper?
No, I'm not.
Then
but
Should
I've
we try closing the blinds. Maybe it's the sunlight waking you
I have tried to transition into like,
Okay.
I'm really big on the sunshine. Like it feeds your soul.
It's true.
It feeds your
It
body.
does.
All
You're
of
supposed to
that.
get
People
that
aren't getting
morning
enough
sun.
vitamin D.
Right.
Yes, they say 15 minutes of the morning
Yes.
sun and even 15 minutes when the sun is going down signals your brain nighttime's
To
coming.
nighttime, go
Yeah.
to sleep. all of
Everybody's so
that.
terrified of the sun. Again, here's the girl without skincare telling you. It's your sunscreen. It's a hoax.
I mean, I also
Can it be
kinda-
both?
We can be both.
I can be both.
We can be both.
Because
really
we
do.
need, we have a vitamin D deficiency.
The train
We
says
do.
yes.
And the train agrees.
Okay.
It agrees.
We have a vitamin D deficiency crisis happening here because we were
Yes.
told sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. The sun is the most dangerous thing ever, 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 ever. And so people are now like deficient in this thing that you can get naturally
Yeah.
from the biggest source in the world, literally. And no one's
Really?
doing it. I just don't get it. Like 15 to 20 minutes, you are not going to scald yourself and then
Yeah.
age yourself 55
No,
years,
no.
everyone.
No. But
Okay.
also, too, there is, on the other hand, where people are like, oh, well, then all the stuff in the sunscreen is so bad for you.
Right,
yada,
right.
Yada, yada. So
Yes.
then there's that. But then also, too, we're all sitting behind desks. Well, not anymore.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
right,
you're
that's
not.
right.
But you're sitting behind a desk all day and you're getting just blue light rather
light.
than actual sunlight.
Yes.
So bad for your
And,
brain.
Yeah, it's awful.
So you left the job.
So I left
But
corporate.
you've had makeup always.
So yes, I
Right?
have been doing hair and makeup for 6 years now.
Okay.
Okay.
And I just most recently got my business license in January for Beauty by B. So I finally made it like
good.
officially
Beauty by
official.
B, and I love an
Beauty by
alliteration. Good job.
B.
I
Thank
like
you.
that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Do you ever go by Brit?
I go by B, I go by Brit, I go by BMills. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I like
why.
BMills.
It has stuck with me
Yeah.
ever since
Mhm.
freshman year of high school. Even when I went to my corporate job, they were like BMills. Like they wouldn't even.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like, Lindsay Reagan-Thorne, LRT. Like there's
that's cute.
different, you know what I mean? Like different some things just stick.
Some things just stick. So I was a Mandy growing up. That was my nickname.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started my blog, I've gone by Miranda and Mandy my whole life. When I was a reporter, I was Miranda, but my nickname growing up was Mandy. And so when I finally was like, I'm going to pick my own thing. I
Yeah.
can't just continue to introduce myself to everyone by two names. It's actually weird
Yeah.
to be like, hey, I'm Miranda and Mandy.
She was.
Pick it.
She got
Like it.
to
I'm
it.
screaming.
There was about a year there where you
was-
were saying, I'm Miranda Mandy.
Yeah,
and,
it's so stupid. I hated it. I
but
just
there
didn't
were
like
people
it.
in your life that like weren't co-signing.
Right. They were
The
very
switch over.
annoyed. I wasn't trying to make anybody. If you've called me Mandy my whole life, like I don't expect my sister to call me Miranda.
Yeah.
right.
My point is more when I go introduce myself to someone brand new,
Correct.
I'm going to say, hey, I'm Miranda. Instead of I'm Miranda and Mandy. Do you want to tell me which one you want me to go by?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
that's so
annoying.
stupid.
Yeah, no,
So I just
no.
said, hey, I'm Miranda. But people would be like, oh, she's so fancy with her big girl name. And I'm like, it's just my real name.
So I was going to ask, because I'm drawing confusion. Your true government name is
Miranda.
Yeah.
and people would just call you Mandy.
My parents started it because they liked the Barry Manilow song.
Okay.
Mandy.
Well, we need to go to your good parents.
Yeah,
and
that's
say you cause some challenges.
That's on
for
Jack
me.
and Mary.
And they're listening to this.
They
Hey.
are. They're big fans, and they love
hey,
us. Yeah, they do. They love, and they're huge supporters of the pod and of me.
Yeah.
But that whole thing was a little tricky because Mandy's not short for Miranda.
No,
It's not.
Right.
It's an Amanda.
So herein lies every time I said, hey, and then my name is Mandy. Well, the teachers would call out the roll, Miranda Catherine Thomas. And I'd go, it's Mandy. And they'd go, why? And I'd say, I don't know.
I don't know.
And then,
but
it's
a
just,
mess.
my parents call me Mandy. And so then as I got older and I would tell people my name was Mandy, they'd go, oh, I'm an Amanda too. And I'm like, but it's not.
no.
But it's not Amanda. It's Miranda. And they're like, why? And I said, I don't know. And then, so you see what I'm saying?
Well, mine is very fluid.
I feel like
B,
Brit, BMills,
BMills, or
Brittany.
Brittany.
It
Yeah.
all makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Brit is short for Brittany.
it
What
is.
she's recently started saying. So I proposed the idea that Mira, M-I-R-A, the first four letters
Yes.
of Miranda would be a fantastic nickname.
No, love
Right.
it.
Miranda.
Mira.
She said, why don't we go at the end and go Randa?
Randa.
Random.
So we said our
People are going to be like, I'm sorry, are you Randa?
our
No.
morning
No.
radio host DJ names
Right.
is Red and Randa.
Yeah.
Red and Randa in the morning.
When we
You know
get-
that's cute, Brittany.
That is cute.
When
know
we
you
get
like
our own
that.
radio
That is
show.
cute.
When we get our own radio show.
And you better
it's Red-
manifest it and it's
I
going to
know.
happen.
Yes.
Red and Miranda in the morning.
Red and Randa.
I'm like, that's cute because you get red. And
Yeah.
that's like fun and
But
cute. And then I
Randa-
get Randa.
Randa.
To me, I can't help but say it that's just what's conjured up in my mind is
Conjured up.
Randa.
It's giving Southern. It's
Yeah.
giving
And
backwoods
I'm not.
Southern.
And I'm not.
Well, I am, and I'm really
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you.
Ah! She's really sinking into Zeke and Randa so hard. So
Yeah.
hard.
Thank you so much.
Enough. Okay, so you have your makeup and hair
Yes.
business. You have your 9 to 5. Then you decide I need another job.
Yeah,
Let's
for whatever
become a
crazy
podcaster.
pants.
Yeah.
Reasoning. So yeah, I was at my 9 to 5 and I had a sweet, kind person start at the same company.
Yep.
And we were just chatting and like our roles were just very close, hand in hand. I was training her. She was working alongside of me. Then we
Okay.
just were kind of like working up together.
Yeah.
And she kept telling me, she's like, I've always wanted to do a podcast. And at this time, she had no idea that like I had been on Love is Blind or like anything. We were very fresh, very new.
Because she couldn't say anything. She still had her
couldn't say
NDA.
anything.
So she had filmed it, had come back
yeah.
home, went back to the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
This is where she meets Mandy, and Mandy isn't allowed to know anything, and she actually holds the secret.
Of course she does,
Yeah.
because she's an honorable lady.
Of course.
You
Sorry,
truly are.
it was the actually. It was the actually. That's my bad.
What? The act?
Because I said she actually held the
Oh.
secret. And you know that audio where it's like, it's the actually
It's
for
the
me.
actually. Well, I thought you meant
As
in
if
the, in
it's
the
shocking.
way in the way of like there probably were other people that didn't.
Exactly.
Because some
exactly.
people
But I feel
have
like-
loose lips.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they sink ships.
I was about to say the
But
same.
you're on the up and up.
I was on the up and up.
We can see
I
that about
tried
you.
my darndest. Of course, like my family, like my mom, she had to know. I
Well,
was gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah, certain family, of course.
You know, whatever. So, anyways, Mandy, she had no idea. And she's like, yeah, I've always wanted to start this podcast. And I was like, oh, like, tell me more about it because I can talk to a wall. And
Yeah.
I say that now and I'm like, well, I did that. But
Walls are easy to talk
right.
to, though.
Come on, except when they're blue and they're colorful and they're pretty.
Yes, yes.
But she pulls up this Excel sheet, y'all, and she's got like, yeah, so I would actually want to talk about this and have this topic here and like then tie in this and tie in that. She had this all figured out.
She's
and I
so
was
organized.
like,
Oh my god.
I was like, Mandy, I was
Yes.
like, this is phenomenal. And she was like, yeah, I've been wanting to do it for like 2 years now, but like I just really need that jump and all of that. And I was like, okay, you're on to something. You need to do it. And so then we moved upstairs in like a
Okay.
little nook. We were probably in an area as big as here.
this. Okay.
And
As big.
we
Or small.
Huge.
Yeah.
right. And there was a table that was glass and you could write on it. And we would be talking and like coworkers, you're like, "Oh, what'd you bring for lunch today?"
Right.
Or, like, "How are your kids doing?"
Yeah.
Or "Did you go out this weekend? I'm hungover," whatever.
Yeah.
And no, we're sitting here talking about like, I was in a really horrible relationship. Like this happened, that happened. Like,
Going deep.
my
Yes.
mom, she's been a caretaker. Oh, well, my mom, like I have a better relationship with my dad than I do my mom. Like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, there's something here.
Right.
And then we got to the point where we're like, that's a podcast topic.
Yeah.
And we were writing them down.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, it's going to come to the point where we're just recording here, like coffee in the
Right.
morning with Mandy and
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
And so I
So
was
did
like,
y'all do that? Was that the first
No,
iteration?
we did
Oh, okay.
not.
That
We
would have
did
been
not.
really cute.
Yes.
could never support where we were at.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So anywho, we were sitting there and I looked at her and I was like, Mandy, if you can do the logistics, I said, I will run with you
Yep.
as fast.
If you
in
build it, I will
any
come.
direction that you want to go.
Yep.
And so very similar to you two,
Yeah.
which I'm sure everyone knows.
Yep.
It was just that
I was
piece-
begging her for years.
Exactly.
Yep. And now she just runs and I just hold on.
Yeah,
to
and
it.
now I do the logistics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just the talent.
Right.
She's the talent.
Right.
I'm like, just keep being yourself. Don't change anything about
At
the mess
all.
of a person that you are,
And I won't.
because we need your story.
Just keep letting weird
Yeah.
things happen to you and be
Right.
willing to
And then-
share it all. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, we were sitting there. I was like,
So
hey,
at
like,
what?
look,
So
if do
you
it.
you still had not told her. Like,
So then
by the
finally-
way,
Here we go. So then here
Yeah.
this comes. And so prior to that, we were having a conversation and my boss had to know because I had to leave
course. Sure.
for 3 weeks.
Sure.
And he was the type of person more so that was just very quick-witted and would kind of throw jokes out here and there. And I was like, you better be careful now. But I was talking about a TV show.
Because you thought he might blow the
Yeah.
cover. Like he was saying
I
too
was-
much.
Yes, I was talking about a TV show. And I was like, I said something and I can't remember. And I was like, yeah, well, you'll find out in like a couple of months. And she looks at me and she goes, were you on a TV show? And I said, yeah. And I just sat there and she goes, you were on a TV show? And I
Right.
was like, and it came out, and then the announcement happened literally 2 weeks later.
Okay, that's
and
fine.
so it was fine. This was
Yeah.
like
Okay.
just recent.
Okay.
so then y'all felt like you could kind of
Exactly.
springboard off of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
She
I was
hitched
like, well,
that wagon.
That's
we'll
smart.
We'll have a following of some sort.
Yes.
It might be 50 people. It might be 1,000.
Yeah.
And I think right now
Ma'am.
it's like 1,000 something.
You knew
No, but on
that
your
it had to
Inst-
be bigger.
Yeah, on your
Yeah.
Instagram though, you got a lot. You're at a lot.
Yeah.
So that's you.
I
got-
always feel bad saying
No,
yeah
no, no,
when people
but-
ask me.
but
Girl, I'm an influencer. The second I hit 100K, the gold balloons that y'all are going to see dancing around. Now it's going to be 17 years from now because
no,
I
no.
am the slowest grower of all time. I'm a shower, not a grower.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
shower,
true.
not a grower. And I
And we
show a
love
lot,
that.
and you think I'd grow more, but I don't. Yeah, it's slow. It's slow goings out here in these
hey,
streets.
but the
to grow.
showers catch the attention.
They do.
they do.
It's people that are truly so committed to you. Your
Yeah.
following is genuine. It's real. It's people
Yeah.
who are obsessed with you.
Yeah, they're real people. I
Yeah.
didn't buy any of these people
Yeah.
back in the day when everyone was buying followers just to get the swipe up or just to get this or
Yes.
just to get that. That always was icky to me. I'm like honest to a fault
Yes.
for sure.
You need to move.
Nope,
You need to
I'm
go.
just
Oh, I was
trying
like, she's
to-
leaving.
And do you want? I know. I was like, what did I say? The grower, not a shower.
No, friends, I was just
Okay.
repositioning.
Okay, we're like,
Where are you going? Don't leave.
like we're
God, shut up.
okay. My God, I'm sorry.
Can you rewind? I need your viewers
Our
to
faces.
like go back and look because oh my god, I want to hug y'all's necks right now and be like, everything is okay, friends. I promise.
Our YouTube watchers are going to be like,
promise.
oh, look at their cute little faces. I got so worried. I don't get worried about anything. So for someone
Yeah, you
to
don't
actually
worry.
give me like a little pause for concern,
She doesn't worry.
I don't worry about anything. I could use a little bit
I
more of
remember
that.
we talked about this the first time, but no,
No
I really
anxieties,
need to
no worries,
reposition.
no scared.
My
of,
neck was getting a little crooked.
That's fine.
Yes, get
You're allowed to get comfortable. You're just not allowed to leave.
ever. We've locked the door from the
We
outside.
trapped you here, actually.
Okay, back to
so
what
you're
you were saying.
writing it down. She finds out
Yeah.
that you're on the show.
Yeah.
You realize I'm gonna probably have a decent platform here.
Yeah.
And I think that this could be a good lead into it. So we need to get things moving, set into place.
Yes.
So that the second it hits, we're ready to go.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Good. Smart.
So,
like that.
Yeah, our first episode released on March 12th. The first episode for Love is Blind released February 14th on Valentine's Day.
Great.
Yes, I remember that. I was like, oh, that's so smart. That's
So
so good on
good.
Valentine's
Exactly.
Day.
Right. So yeah, we've just been every week we're recording. We're booked out until July.
Okay, good.
So that's good. And yeah, I mean, we're just
And you
doing
came
it.
up with M Powered because her first name is Mandy, obviously with an M, short for Amanda.
no, actually, her
name-
name is Mandy.
Her name
Just
is
Mandy.
Mandy.
Okay, but at least it's just Mandy.
At least
She
it's
doesn't
just
have to
Mandy.
say it short for Miranda, which
Yeah.
isn't a nickname. Got
Right.
it. Okay.
Perfect.
So I like that for her. Either way, that's still
Yeah, I mean, it
simpler
makes it
than what I did.
yeah.
Okay. So, and then your last name Mills. So y'all said
Yes.
we both have M's in common. We really are big into the empowerment thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to make it cute with an M
Exactly.
and then powered.
Yes.
Empowered.
Okay.
Because we're all about women empowerment, breaking barriers, breaking, unhealthy cycles, creating new cycles,
Yes.
new healthy things that are nourishing your body and
Yes.
growing you into the woman that you need to be.
Right.
So yeah, all about empowerment and
love that.
everything centered
So
around.
right now, your trifecta of jobs.
Yes.
Tell me if I'm getting this right.
Mhm.
Is podcast,
Yep.
still doing the beauty,
Yep.
and influencing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so you were able to monetize this very quickly. Companies coming to you.
I
to
mean,
do
when you have a
partnerships.
following, and I think people that are following you adore you. Like
Thank
you have
you.
legit people that are
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in love with you, women and men.
Yeah. Matt specifically.
my husband, me, you. So it's a legit following.
Yeah.
Brands can recognize that. They
Yeah.
see that. So
And I really also too want to highlight, because here recently with Empowered, like we do a lot of work with like corporate, and
Yes.
we also do a lot with entrepreneurship.
okay.
And so and I was just speaking to a financial advisor this week, and I've always said ever since I was probably within like college, I've never truly worried about job security, and I don't want that to be taken of like, oh, you just like have a silver spoon.
Yeah.
Let me address that really quick.
Okay.
Let's
are
say
people
it.
thinking this?
No. But
Okay.
I'm always just like mindful of my words. And
Yes.
I'm like, because being misconstrued or like
Yes.
misconceptions
Yeah.
drive me. You could probably hit me with a board every day.
Mhm.
But having a misconception of something, whether it's good, bad,
Yes.
right, or wrong,
Yes.
I'm like, no.
Don't lie about
No,
me.
no,
Don't
no,
speak.
no,
don't
no.
speak up my name like
Yeah.
that
Right,
unless
or
it's accurate.
Even if
Yes.
it was like if someone on the side of the road was talking about you,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Oh, well, actually, she had blue hair just a year
Yeah.
ago," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, she didn't."
No, it's
And
purple.
they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she didn't." And I'm like, "Oh my God, no, she didn't." Like,
Yeah.
what can I do to prove?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
it
We do not
drives
like-
me.
we do
nuts.
not like a lie.
No.
We do not like.
No.
And also don't make us out to look like fools when we know the right thing.
That's
Oh,
right.
We don't like
I
that.
cannot stand
Well,
it.
we
But
love
like
a receipt.
Right. But like I said, either whether you're right or wrong, or you're saying something's good and it's truly bad, or you're saying something's bad and it's truly good,
Mm-hmm.
I will probably take my last breath correcting you.
Yes.
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 Like, truly.
I love that.
So what I was saying is about job security. I've never truly like worried about it because of my work ethic.
Yes.
yeah.
And
Yep.
I have never had a silver spoon. Now, granted, my mom has given me every single thing that I've ever wanted, and I've never went without.
Yeah.
But she has hauled tail.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that's the thing. Like, yeah,
Obviously.
she was able to give you the things that you needed because
Right.
she was willing to work so hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's all I saw ever, like, all the time growing up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I heard about money. I heard about, like, we're going to have to, like, just relax for this for a second.
Yeah.
But, like, also, too, like, my birthday parties were, like, extravagant. Like,
Yes.
so
She just made you feel
Yeah.
really special, no
right.
matter what.
Exactly. And so people are like, oh, Brittany's stepping away from corporate. She has all these brand deals. She's getting this. She's getting that. She's getting that. And I'm like, actually, I haven't done a brand deal in like a month. And I'm not basing my success off of a brand deal or
Because that can be taken away in an instant.
It can be taken away like
you can
that.
say one thing, you're canceled. All of the
That's
stuff
right.
disappears. Like when you have this kind of platform,
Yeah.
and even mine's a baby one compared to yours, but I still have to watch what I say every single day.
Exactly.
Because it could all go like this based on one thing, and then what? Also, Instagram is not owned by me. Zuck
Right.
could decide.
He could pull
I'm
the
Gucci
plug
good.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna go to my bunker in Hawaii. I'm gonna put on an extreme amount of sunscreen, and I'm gonna go there, and poof, it's gone.
It's
just
gone.
like MySpace was gone in one day.
Yeah.
What's Vine was gone in one day.
God, I miss Vine.
There were so many things that were here for a minute, and then they were just gone. And people think, oh, it would never happen.
Yeah.
but it could.
But that's why it's so smart that what you're doing is diversifying.
Starting other businesses,
and to go on this show and realize, like, the fact remains, there is going to be some notoriety that comes with that, and good for you. So springboard off of that.
Yep.
Use it however you can. People can see that you're gorgeous and beautiful, so use it for the beauty.
Yeah.
People can see that you are wise beyond your years. We were saying that in our last podcast.
Yes.
That your maturity seems so beyond. I mean, kind
Your
of beyond us, and we're in our
maturity.
we're in our 40s.
Yeah,
I'm like,
your emotional
she knows more than
maturity. Yeah, definitely more than us combined.
No.
so yeah, start a podcast.
Why not?
Talk about these things. So I feel like you're making the right decision and
many
just
right
kind
decisions.
of putting the eggs in lots of different baskets
Thank you.
and seeing kind of where that takes you.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. Is like I've always been a person to like I've identified myself as like a hamster on a wheel. Like I'm constantly on a motor and I just don't stop. But I also am a bucket type of person. Like I want things in different buckets. Like I want to be sure to like, oh, I could go here, I could go there, go there. Just because I feel like that gives you, it diversifies it a little bit.
Yeah.
It keeps you from getting bored too.
Right.
When you can be mixing it up a bit.
Right.
So how's the podcast going?
The podcast is going really well.
Okay, great.
We've been trying to do monthly events.
I did see that.
We're actually going to have on a studio fire on July 13th.
I did see that, and I
Okay.
think that I'm
Excited.
coming.
Ooh,
Okay.
good.
I
Yes,
feel like
please
that
come.
I think I'm around then.
Yeah,
I would
you
love
look up
that.
our
Saturday.
calendar?
Let's look.
We don't have a joint calendar. I'm
We
just
don't.
being silly. We probably should actually at
Yeah,
this
I'm
point.
around. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
June 13th is a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the night of my actual real high school reunion.
That's right.
That's the night of it. Yeah.
But what time is your event?
11 a.m.
Okay, great.
And maybe a noon or two.
And
If
maybe
it's
a
real
noon or
booked
two.
up,
Yep.
a nooner. I saw your stories.
Look at you.
I saw your stories. I'm
Okay.
like, where am I following? Am I following both of them on Miranda and CLT or the podcast page? Am I following
Yes.
Empowered on this one?
No, I did
had
the
to-
same thing this morning
It's
trying
a
to get
lot.
the address. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yes.
all that to say. And I was like, no,
Yes,
where
where
is
did they
it? I
send
was like,
it?
where's the address?
I know. I should have followed up with you last night. Instead, I was posting on my Instagram, we're going to be interviewing her anytime now, but I haven't remembered to follow up and tell her the address again.
That is okay.
That's just not my strong suit.
That is
But
the
you found it.
reality of everything.
You're
though.
here.
Right, I'm
Obviously,
here.
all's good. And you were early.
Yeah,
And
she's a control
4
freak. So
minutes.
she not only found the address, but she
Yeah.
was here early.
Are you always early?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would probably say that Mandy would say that I'm always late.
Oh, okay.
That's me.
But it's funny because we're two different types of people. I will rush to be early.
Yeah.
I was driving 90 on the
Yeah.
way here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
That's
But
what
I was
45's
early.
for. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas Mandy, she'll be running late and she's like,
Stopping by Starbucks.
Yeah, get a little iced coffee.
and I'm like, put something under your butt to move faster.
Yeah, yeah.
Like crazy. And like we always record, say for instance, at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Which we're trying to transition because like after a full day of work, it's like,
Yes.
how is your brain
Yeah.
working?
Yep.
Like we're gonna get significantly better probably.
We
here
do
within
10
the next-
a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do 10 a.m.
We
where
need
we're
the-
fresh.
But but just
Exactly.
like we said, after we record, I'm just kind of in silence because I'm just like,
Yes.
okay, I gotta let the thoughts settle over me.
Yeah.
Right. Right. But yeah, she'll come in at like 5:58 and she's like, "You ready to start, friend?" And I'm like, if you don't move it.
You'll control her. She'll get used to it.
Oh my
Okay, so Love is Blind.
Yes.
Love is fine. Let's talk about it.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into
Okay.
it.
So they approached you.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me this.
Yes.
What does this mean?
And it's very common, normal, natural. Essentially, if you think recruiting, like
Yeah.
they reach out to people, they reached out to 40,000 people.
Was it Kwame's wife who reached out to you?
It
What's
was
her name?
not Chelsea.
Chelsea. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
I
Love
just
her
remember
to death.
I remember Kwame, and her name
Yes,
was escaping
yes.
me. Okay, and I know she's a
right.
recruiter
She
for
is
Love Is
now
Blind.
a recruiter,
A
but
talent,
at that
yeah.
time, she was not doing
Okay,
that.
got it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it.
So-
got it.
Wait, so 40,000 people in Charlotte?
In the surrounding area, yes.
Wow.
Yes, and
Well,
then
we
they
have enough
narrow
people
it
here to do
down.
that.
Oh my.
Then they narrow it down, and then there's 15 women, and then there's 15 men. Yeah.
Can I just mention this real quick?
Is that not wild? Yes.
Okay.
From
please.
40,000 down to 15 women and 15
And out of the 40,000, these are the 15
They
men.
chose those
These are
15
the
men.
15
These
men.
are
These were the
Kevin
best
to
15 men
Betsy.
that we could find.
No.
That's saying something though, right?
Johnny excluded.
Johnny
Johnny
excluded.
excluded, and I think we can all agree that he's wonderful. I've met him. He's a
is
delight.
phenomenal.
His new haircut looks
new
amazing.
haircut.
Such a king.
And I love his family.
Oh, his family
They are
is great.
so
Them.
cute and sweet, and the siblings
Same
and
with
the, and
hers.
the
I
laughing.
mean, my gosh, what a power couple
Yeah.
and a power family to be connecting the dear sweet preciousness.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
it's
it.
so good.
I love it.
So
And they're
so Johnny
like
out
that.
of 40,000 is what we're saying.
Johnny
Yeah.
is out of 40,000 and everybody had to go for him. No, but
hurt.
honestly, I thought the women were so wonderful
Yeah.
and gorgeous.
Yep.
The bodies.
Yep.
Like I'm saying, I get it. I get that this is the best 15 single women we can find in Charlotte and the
Yes.
surrounding area. But this is the best 15 men we could find.
We
I feel
were-
like y'all got shorted here a
Okay,
bit.
and
Yeah.
we do too. Speaking
Okay,
on
we do
behalf-
too.
Okay, we do
now
too.
say it.
Speaking
Say
on behalf of the LIB lady season
Okay.
6, 15 women.
Speak on their behalf,
We
please.
were
because no one else has
sitting
said
there.
yes to our
Right.
podcast. So please speak. No,
screaming.
Chelsea did to get her out of her. Kristen was like, I know where she lives and I'll just go wait outside her thing.
I'm
Chelsea,
screaming.
yeah, we tagged her in that story and she DM'd us and said, please don't do that. I'll come. I'll come. Here's my agent's email. But we didn't hear back. We
And
didn't hear
that's
back.
okay.
And Amy
that's
said
okay.
yes too when I did accost her at a Moulin Rouge premiere party.
She did say
She
yes.
did say yes, and then we didn't hear back either. So I'm just saying you aren't third. That's not what. Please don't.
No.
take that as
Yeah.
what
No,
I'm
no,
saying.
no.
It's
It was
whoever
all
showed up.
happening at the same time. I'm reaching out to everybody.
I do have to say, though,
yes.
this is the way that I think. My network is my net worth.
Yes.
That's right.
So,
Know that.
Yep.
just keeping that out there.
You're hitching your wagon to this wagon.
Right.
Hey, and we don't blame you. We're the Bob Award winners.
Right.
Don't forget it. It's right there in a shadow box. Okay.
We are
Okay.
an award-winning podcast. You hear that, LIB?
Exactly.
You hear
We
that?
are. And so I felt like the pool of women were phenomenal, and y'all must have been looking around like,
No,
huh?
we sat there in the lounge and we're like,
tell
okay,
us.
okay. So obviously, like the people there, the cameramen, the wranglers, all that good stuff, like they're there, and we're talking to them, and we're like, we're like 11s, like
Yeah.
we're over
Yeah.
the 10 mark.
Yeah,
like, we're
100%.
11s. Every
Yes.
single
Yes.
one of us, even the ones that didn't get screen time, every single one of us.
Right.
And we're like, okay, what's these men working with? And they're like, have y'all seen y'all? And we're like, yeah, that's why we're asking.
Yeah.
Because we're 11s and we
Yes.
want to make sure that it's like very appropriately paired.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't,
And
and it's beyond.
There
it-
goes
it
them
looks-
doors opening up, and we're like,
Oh.
doop, doop,
Mm.
doop, one after the other. And we're like,
Oh, no.
okay.
And we're talking blind, right? So y'all can't see them, but as the viewers were even looking like,
Question mark.
well, we can see them.
We could see them, but it also is beyond looks, because for these women to be a total package, yeah, to be drop dead gorgeous, but to be so motivated and have these great careers and so
Yes.
emotionally connected to who you are and being vulnerable and sharing your stories. Like
Yes.
you guys poured your hearts out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all put everything on the line. And these men were like boys.
And even if y'all
Very
weren't
much.
Little
hot,
boys.
that's my point. Is like y'all at least still had all the non-look stuff going for you, but y'all
Correct.
were hot.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the guys, I'm like, okay, so if we're not going to get it, maybe in the smoking hot good looks department,
Yeah.
then
Maybe
then
we
we're-
can get it something
then we're going to get it in
else.
all their
Yeah.
emotional maturity.
Correct.
And instead, you have Trevor, who's
Yeah.
got a girlfriend,
Yeah.
and you have
Yeah.
boys who can't really put a sentence together.
Yep.
You have the guy who's telling the exact same things to two women.
Correct.
Like, what's going on here? What happened?
It was very,
happened?
we all asked the same thing, and I wish I had an answer for you, friend, but I truly do not.
You know what I think it could be? Similar to what happened with students. It's people came out of the pandemic not knowing how to human anymore. They came out of the pandemic and didn't know how to have a conversation anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't know what's right, what's wrong, what's up, what's
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Everyone's just kind of like, now what? But somehow the girls didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
I just think it like emotionally stunted
That's
a
it.
lot of people.
Because women, we are more naturally talkers, connectors,
Exactly.
emotionally connected to each other. So even with the pandemic, we can still find a way
Yeah.
to like
Exactly.
grow together and have those close relationships. But for men, it's like they became hermits.
I'm just wondering if the timing of this, that there could have been something that had to do with that.
But
I
do
don't
we
know.
think that this is a representation of the dating pool that you are up against here in Charlotte?
See, a lot of people. So I've actually never. This is crazy. I have never. And there was an article out there, and I was like, okay, that's not true. But I have never dated in Charlotte
Oh.
ever.
So what does this mean? You had like a boyfriend?
Yeah,
back
so
home and then-
so I have always been in long-term relationships, and then a few like whatever flings here and there,
Yeah.
but like I've never dated someone. I've never met someone in Charlotte.
Out in
and dated
Charlotte
them.
and then went on dates with them.
No.
Wow.
Because I mean, granted, I just moved here in 2022.
Sure.
And I went to go film March 26th of 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it
like
wasn't a
I
lot of
didn't
time.
really have the
No.
amount of time, and I was like, okay, but I had heard like Charlotte dating is so poor.
Yes.
And so then I
Yikers.
got to the show and I was like, okay, well these men are all from Charlotte. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
But like everyone says that they appropriately align with the Charlotte dating scene.
Yeah.
And I
It's-
was like,
Why does the Charlotte dating scene suck, though? What is happening? We love our city. This is the best.
It's the
Yes.
financial bros. I
It's
think
the
that it has
finance
something
bros,
to do
yeah.
with we have a lot of single finance bros. And I'm going to do a generalization here, and I understand that there are exceptions with your husband. But I think that there is a group of men who go into that career who maybe haven't had as many hardships, as many life lessons, as many teachable moments. Maybe they haven't had much accountability. Maybe their mom puts their socks and shoes on them at 17 years old.
So maybe the silver spoon is applying here a little bit.
And maybe they just don't really know how to do the hard work.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had to work hard.
Yeah.
And
And that's what
I
we've
thought she
talked
was about to leave again. Every time Brittany moves.
okay, I am going to the rest of this podcast, my friends, sit as still as I possibly can.
leaned over and I was like,
And like
oh, dear.
I said, I'm ADD, so this is going to be really hard for me.
I will be a mannequin from here on out.
Hey, no, move as much as you want.
Yes.
But every time I'm like, oh God, what did we say?
What did we say now?
What did we do?
Oh God.
We've interviewed other very big names, but we're just so excited to talk to you.
Well, y'all, I'm just as tickled.
It's making me like want to clench and hold on way too
Here,
tight.
I'm gonna hold her hand for the rest of the podcast.
This doesn't feel weird at all, right,
Oh my
guys?
gosh. That's our screenshot.
Okay, so
And I'm like reaching over
no,
here.
you
like,
really don't.
What about this
I
one?
promise you don't have to. You don't have to. I know it's already going to give you a new crick in the neck. Okay, so I think that could just have something to do with it. That some of these men, we're talking about an entire group. We just have a lot of them here.
Oh, but
Yes,
what I
and-
was going to say is we've had a couple conversations in recent podcasts about we need to bring masculinity back.
Yeah, there's
We
some
think
of that too.
that has disappeared a
Let's
bit.
talk about that one.
Yeah, that we're for many years there was a push of like women empowerment, which we love.
Yep.
Of course, we can have that, and we can also
And-
still have men leaning into their masculinity.
Taking control.
We like the testosterone. We
Yeah,
want to
we love
see you
it.
be a
love
big,
it.
strong man.
I mean, hell,
Show me
make
you.
more of it.
Yeah.
Show me you can be a provider. Show me you can be a great dad. Show me you can do these things with
Yeah.
like that big, strong, tough like guy. You know?
that we think of as desirable.
Yes.
I do at least, and that might just be a generalization as well.
No, and I'll stand behind you on that. Like, that was my whole thing. And so
Right.
let me take 2 steps back and say the men that were there were some good men.
Yeah.
There were. They all had good qualities
Sure.
that, we all truly fell in love with.
Yeah.
There were many conversations that I had with many of them of like, okay, like you should be proud of yourself for that. Like they would explain things to me and, things that they've done or like things that they have accomplished or went through and all of that and come out on the other side. And I'm like, okay, like that's a really good quality and like good for you. On the other hand, I too am the same way. I have to have a very masculine type of man.
Yes.
Someone who can get his hands dirty. Someone who can be under my car. Someone who can go back home with me to my family and go ride 4-wheelers and take their shoes off and walk in a creek with me.
That's it.
I also, however, need someone to wine and dine me.
That's it.
And
Can
take
you
me
not be
to-
multifaceted?
Right,
Please.
and take me to a nice restaurant, and I need my chair pulled out for me.
That's
and
it.
I need the car door open for me.
Yes.
It's just simple manners.
It is.
It's chivalry.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
And
Where did
I'm
it go?
Southern, and I love just give me the chivalry.
But I think
please.
that the boys are confused because they heard for years like, I am woman, hear me roar,
Yeah.
da 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 da. I don't need no man, like
Correct.
da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then at the same time we're like, no, but still please be chivalrous. Walk on the side of the street, on
Yes.
the sidewalk. And I think that they're getting mixed messaging too. And I get it because what happens is we always swing the pendulum too far over to the other side.
That's
we
it.
overcorrect everything. Instead of just going, hey, here, let's go to here. We go,
Whoop.
all the way over here.
completely around. And I agree with you. And also too, like I could see how it would be confusing because I am very much so like I have never, ever depended on a man.
Sure.
I've always been taught, hey, you do not depend on
Of
anyone.
course.
Yep.
And that's just how I was brought up.
Yeah.
But also too, I'm like, yeah, let me be this strong, hear me roar type of woman.
But also
so, like I
catch
also
me.
want
Yeah.
you to be like right here with me.
Yes.
And like, if I'm going to be roaring and strong
Yeah.
and independent, you best believe I'm going to need you to be strong, roaring, and independent
That's
as well.
it.
Yes.
That's it.
And yeah, I might like fall back a little bit, but like your hand needs to be behind my back.
Exactly.
So with my story specifically, there was, I don't know, have y'all watched previous seasons of Love is Blind?
Yeah.
too?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, do you remember Marshall and Jackie?
That sounds familiar.
Tell me what.
Tell us more about it.
Okay, so
I'll Google while you
Jackie,
tell me.
Essentially, Marshall was a king. He's so sweet. He's so gentle. He was so kind.
Okay.
He was truly emotionally intelligent, honestly. But she came and was like, you need to be more masculine, essentially, and like really kind of like tore him down.
Ooh.
Or how it was like
Yeah,
perceived
yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So then Kenneth and I, we started to get into things, and he was like, I don't want this to seem like a Marshall and Jackie type of situation because I told Kenneth, I was like, I need that strong man. I need that get your hands dirty. I need the masculinity, all
Yes,
of that.
yes, I
I,
remember that.
I definitely recognize her.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so I was like, no. I'm not going to be disrespectful to you. I'm not going to tear you down, demasculate, like none of that.
But I also
like,
think you have to be able to say the things that you're looking for.
absolutely.
To really commit to
absolutely.
someone and make a lifelong commitment, you have to say what it
Yeah,
is you need.
for sure.
Period.
For sure.
Whether or not someone wants to hear it. Sorry.
Right. And that's the thing is that I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
No.
No.
Like
That's why you're here.
Exactly.
Like that's the point, right? Is
Yeah.
to spill it, say it, and then decide,
And
do we want to see each other tomorrow in the pod?
Yeah.
So why not just be honest?
Yeah. Right.
Can we talk about the production? Like you went to LA.
Yeah.
So these pods are in a huge warehouse.
Yeah.
Yep. We're on set.
You're on set.
We
Going
have the
in-
lounge.
Yep.
We have the pods. We're in there. So the building, we're all in the same building. That's how
Right.
huge it is.
Right.
But then the pods are in the middle of the building.
Okay.
The men are on this side. The women are on this side. We then walk into the pods and we're like in the pod.
Right.
together.
Got it.
Someone asked me, texted me the other day and was like, I'm on a bachelor trip and everyone's asking because they know that I know you, bachelorette, excuse me. And, everyone knows that I know you and they're curious about the speakers. How did y'all hear each other? Was there a hole in the wall? And I
Yeah.
was like, no, there was no hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I was like, obviously we were mic'd up and then there were speakers to go, we were mic'd for like the cameras and then also two, those speakers then transpired over
into
to
each
us.
other. So
Right,
it
right.
felt like you were next to each other.
It really did, yeah.
Wow.
It did.
And then the lounge is the lounge, and I think people think that they have like bunk beds.
Yeah, where do y'all sleep?
People do think that we are sleeping there. We are not.
No.
But they have to shuffle y'all around so the men don't see the women and the women don't see the men.
Right. And they do a really good job at it, honestly.
I bet they do.
They really
that's
do.
the whole integrity of the show.
Exactly.
Is we can't let each other.
Right, because if we were to see the women seeing the men, one of us.
Yep.
Not just one person gets sent home, all of us get sent home. Because it's the integrity of it. Netflix
Right.
is like, hey, this is a true experiment.
Yeah, is Love Blind.
And we are wanting to see. So, y'all have to abide by the rules. And they really did. They did a really good job.
So
of
were
keeping
y'all
us
at one
apart.
hotel and the boys were at another hotel? So yeah, they then at the end of the night
Wow.
after filming, everybody splits. The girls go to their hotel, the boys go to their hotel, and then y'all come. But they're long days.
Yeah, is it true that some of these conversations would last hours
So, yes.
in the pod?
Essentially we would start the first day. We started the first day, all 15 men, all 15 women.
So it's more rapid fire.
Rapid fire, almost like speed dating.
Yeah.
We were in there for about 5.5 minutes the very first day.
Wow. Just to see if you click.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you go and it's like, okay, do I want to talk to this person? Do I want to talk to that person? And then as the days go on, the dates get longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the number of people you're dating gets shorter.
Right.
And so at the end, we were talking to our person
Yeah.
for probably, I think, 4.5 hours. Now, you can't,
That's
some
a
people are
lot.
like, oh, they kept you in the bar. No. You get breaks on
Yeah.
your time when you want. You can
Yeah.
step out at any time. You can stay in there. You can do whatever. You can go
Yeah.
to the bathroom, all of that.
Right.
But yeah, we had the ability to just talk for 4.5
And
hours.
so people were eliminated, let's say, from the show. I mean, I know they don't view it like that,
Right.
but because they weren't paired up.
Yes.
So as pairings maybe weren't happening for some people, then they were just kind of let go.
Exactly. They were just trickled off.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Now,
Wow.
did you do all your own hair and makeup?
I did.
Okay.
No,
do
of
they-
course.
but do they have people available for others who maybe
They-
can't slay like you do? Or were girls
So-
asking you to do their makeup and hair?
with the 11s that we had, everyone had all the abilities to do their own hair and makeup and doing it very well.
Okay, good.
So everyone did their own hair and makeup.
Chelsea's was great.
Yes.
Her eye makeup is really good every time, and I want her to know that. And if she would come
Yes,
on here,
I feel
could
like
tell her
Chelsea,
that to her
Jess,
face.
like all these girls,
Yeah.
they look
Yeah.
amazing.
No, we are all very talented women too.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all know our bodies. We all know our faces.
Yeah, y'all knew how to dress.
Yeah.
You knew how to do hair,
Yeah.
makeup, everything. It did. Everybody came correct.
Yeah, everyone did come correct.
Except
I
for
agree.
what was going on with Trevor's redhead? What was happening there? Is it splotchy? Like, is he getting hives because he know he's pathologically lying?
okay.
Can you just
I can't.
answer that? Dong. Electric. She's
So,
playing our soundboard.
with-
You can't hear them.
with
But.
that, I think our friend does struggle with a little bit of eczema.
That's what I thought it was.
Okay.
I thought it was
Yeah.
eczema
To
too.
me, it was giving hives because he just knew he was lying straight through his
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah, I think it was
And-
eczema.
I have psoriasis, so no judgment there.
yeah,
It's actually.
yeah, that's true.
I should have brushed off the back of this chair a little bit better for you.
Oh God!
That's why she wants to leave. She turned around.
Her
and was like,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's why I'm sitting like this. Ooh, there's
That's
something
why I
back
keep
there.
getting very insecure about her leaving. She's noticed on my psoriasis
Your
flakes.
skin.
You can't catch it.
Your skin is on
That's not
BMills.
how it works. Yeah, my
catch it.
my scalp skin is on BMills' shoulders. Everybody.
I know that.
Okay,
Yeah, thank
because
you so
honestly,
much. You're
I
so
don't think
sweet.
any other person's scalp flakes would I want on me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm honored. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Not the scalp flakes. Okay, so you guys are doing different than I had to itch my head. It's like when you talk about lice, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all are being shuffled here, there, everywhere, and then you get tons of food.
Yeah.
You get all.
There
Yeah,
was-
did they feed y'all well?
Let
Yeah.
me make sure.
Are they
because
feeding y'all okay, at
There were
least?
times where people thought about oh, they don't feed this is from previous seasons.
Yeah.
You can, I'm sure, go research it somewhere. But yes, y'all, they fed us so much that I was like, all right, y'all,
Yeah.
y'all got to chill out a
You're
little
like,
bit.
I'm on TV. The camera adds 10 pounds.
Yes,
like,
honey.
I'm trying to look.
And it did.
Teeny.
Yes.
It did.
But we can see you in person. You are extremely petite.
Well,
Yes.
thank you.
Extremely petite.
But yes, so
But
they
you looked
fed
great
us.
on TV.
Yeah, I feel like you really
You
did.
looked great on
Flawless.
TV. There were no times when I was like, she's going to look back
Yeah.
over gray.
No, the outfits
are
were always
sweet.
on point.
Yeah.
Everything looked spot on, don't
But
you
you're
think?
there. Yes, absolutely. But you're there for 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, we are there for quite some time. So we're in the pods for 2 weeks, and now I'm like forgetting all the days. But then we have the reveal day, and then you
Okay,
have the day
let's
where
talk
you
about
go to the.
Let's not hop over that. Let's talk about the reveal day. So
Let's talk
obviously
about
Brittany and Kenneth decide that they love each other
Yes.
and all is well. You guys, I think, really bonded over your Christianity,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And
The teaching.
morals.
Yes,
Teaching,
the
him being a
teaching,
principal,
the
her being a
morals.
teacher, all
sure.
of that sort of stuff.
Yep.
You guys did not discuss race in the pods.
So
Or you did. Like,
I
what,
think
what exactly
Did he say to you, how do you feel about
yes,
different ethnicities? I think he did say something to that.
Yes, he
Okay.
did. We talked, and that's the thing, though, is that it was not shown a lot.
Okay, that's why I think I'm
Yes,
confused.
it
then.
was not shown a lot. We had plenty of conversations about race.
So you had a
Didn't say
feeling.
you were white, and he didn't say he was black.
Or no. We knew
Oh, you did know.
that each other were of the different race.
Okay, so you
He
knew.
knew that I was white. I knew that he was black.
Okay.
in the pods.
In the
Okay, so the
pods.
only thing they showed on the TV show was a very brief where all he said was, how do you feel about dating someone from another
Exactly.
race? And you said, I'm totally open to it. And that was all they showed.
Exactly.
You already had, right?
That was another thing. I have dated more black men than I have
Yes.
white men.
Okay, that's what I thought I had
Interesting.
remembered
Yes.
you saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And so a lot of people were like, you know, when it came out, because we didn't realize this, no one saw this.
Right.
Right.
No one realized that I had already previously dated black men
Yeah.
and that we had talked about this in the pod.
Yeah.
Right.
This was
we
no big
were-
deal to you at all.
No, it was very normal and natural
Yeah.
for me. Whereas on the other hand, Kenneth has never dated a white woman.
Exactly.
Correct.
Which we then found out with the conversation with AD.
Right.
And
Right.
that was our first introduction as the
Exactly.
viewer
Exactly.
to, oh, is this going to be a problem for him?
Yeah. To what maybe was going on in his head, but that he
Right.
had never said out loud.
Correct.
Exactly.
So was that a determining factor, do you think?
So Kenneth and I had multiple different conversations about race in the pods, outside of the pods, on the honeymoon, all the things.
Wow.
And we talked about it, and I asked him specifically, I'm like, is this going to like hinder you? And he was like, by your approach and how you approach everything and how you talk about it and how you discuss things, like you're going to fit in with my family just
yeah.
Okay, great.
like he actually expressed to me that he had no concern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until that conversation.
And so then the conversation happened on the beach and the question was asked by AD.
yeah.
And Kenneth and I then had a conversation after that.
okay.
And that was when we were sitting on the bathtub.
Yep.
And we talked about it. And I don't think that they showed, or maybe they did. I can't remember. We talked about it. And I was like, hey, like, I just want to make sure that, like, you are still fine and, like, you are not drawing concern. And once again, he reiterated, I'm not drawing concern. And a lot of people did think, though, after that question and conversation, like, oh, she got in his head, so on and so forth.
Right.
Like, that wasn't the case.
So it was a non-issue truly for him.
Correct.
Okay, and that's good
Correct.
to hear and that's good to see.
Yeah.
And I know
I think it's
that
an important conversation that needed to be had, and I don't know why they didn't show, I think, more of it. I'm
Right.
kind of confused by that.
it is confusing, one.
Okay.
It is perceived that we didn't have those conversations.
Right.
And it is perceived that, you know, that kind of got in his head.
And he probably doesn't like that edit either.
Right.
I'd
That's not a great
assume.
edit for him.
Right.
Or
But
for
also-
AD.
But if we're saying,
for AD.
Or and she has already
Right?
addressed
True.
She's already addressed it publicly, like on Instagram, like when this all came
Yeah,
out, and she
yeah.
was like, "Y'all, like, I don't have that much control over like
Yeah.
the conversation, whatnot." I think she was having the like those conversations need to be had.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They need to be had, but I think just the way that it was perceived and like viewed, it was like, oh, she's in his head, yada yada
Yeah.
yada, whatever it may be.
I'm surprised they didn't show more of it.
Respectfully,
Yeah.
I could care less about it at this point.
I know.
I know,
I understand
I
that
know.
because let's go back to reveal day. Because
yes.
really this can all be a moot issue.
Yeah,
a moot
right.
point.
Right.
Because I think, when you saw him, how different did he look from the vision in your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that like?
So we
Yeah.
did talk about his hair was not short.
Okay.
Right?
And I was like, okay, so your hair's not short. Got it. Kenneth thought I was blonde.
Oh.
He literally thought I was blonde. And I
Okay,
was
and
like,
you are a proud brunette.
I am a proud brunette and do
Yes.
not color at all.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to think
Great
of
Yes.
your voice behind a wall.
And I was like,
And you're like a Southern girly.
Yeah.
She's Southern.
And
He was
so
thinking
he was
Southern
like
belle.
Southern,
That's what
all
I
that.
think.
Like,
Yep.
yes, she's blonde. And so he clearly was not, or I was not what he was expecting.
Right.
But we did discuss his hair was not short. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, so he's got long hair. I was like, is it going to be dreads? Is it going to be twists? Is it going to be
Right.
this? Is it going to be
Right.
shoulder length? Is it going to be like down his back?
Yeah.
I have no idea. And so then he came out and he had it like in a little ponytail.
Yeah.
And like, I loved his hair like that.
Yes.
I loved it.
Okay.
Yes.
When it first revealed, I was like, okay. I was
He's
like,
tall.
he's tall.
Yes.
I was like, which we love.
Yes.
Like
Love.
I've never dated someone. Well, maybe Kenneth's
Okay.
probably a little bit taller.
Okay. For the most part, you date a tall man.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like he's tall, which I've never really dated someone like that as tall.
Okay.
And I was like, well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
cool. Whatever. I loved his hair.
Yes.
And then I was like, yeah, like I think I can do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your
I was
first
like,
thought is, I think I can.
yeah,
do
I think
this.
I can do
I can
this.
work with this.
Yes. I was like, I think I can work with this.
And what did he think?
And well, I'm coming with humility.
Oh.
I'm coming with humility.
Yeah, but
You don't need to be humble. What are we talking about?
He should have been stunned.
He was quite.
He should have
Okay,
been
good.
stunned.
Yeah, he was-
because
he was
you are
drooly.
you're giving celebrity.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yes.
you are, right? Like
Yes.
is she not?
Look
Like
at this hair, the face, the body, everything.
like
is
he
right.
should have been like, "Oh my gosh."
And he did.
I will
Okay,
do
good.
anything to
We
make this
our
work.
reveal,
Also,
y'all.
your teeth. I mean, can we
Such
talk
good
about,
teeth.
Did you have braces? Are
I
these
had.
veneers?
No, they're not
They're
veneers.
perfect.
They're y'all the
Thank
teeth.
you. Thank you.
The teeth,
I
the
had
lips,
Invisalign.
everything.
Yeah.
I had
Okay.
Invisalign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It did-
I've
it
always
did
had
great
super straight. I've always had super straight teeth. And then when I got to my senior year, at the end of my junior year, at the
Yeah.
end of my junior year of high school, they started to shift a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
And then my senior year, they got a little bad. And then my freshman year of college, I was like, okay, we got to get these things
Yeah.
fixed.
We got to get back on track.
Yes, because my dad, he had braces and had to keep them on forever because he had some crooked teeth.
Ooh, so the genetics
then
were
it-
trying to kick in.
Yeah, and so then it hit me, and I was like, see, what we're not going to do.
No.
Not in this beauty business.
I was gonna say not on
No.
this phase.
No.
Not on this.
No,
No.
thank you. So now I got Invisalign.
Okay, so
And
he
there you go.
thinks you're stunning. Great.
Yes.
Okay, which is exactly what he should think.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you don't have to be humble here, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
You can
there's-
just brag and say all the things.
We are not
Okay.
humble.
No,
Yeah,
no.
at the
No.
reveal, like
We're
he,
winners.
He literally looks at me. He was like, he was like, God, what did I do to deserve this? Like
Yes.
we had the most beautiful reveal, like other
Yes.
than Amy and Johnny, because theirs was just so
Yeah.
wholesome and so sweet.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like we were,
You had a
we were
beautiful
so
reveal.
giddy,
Yes.
and there was a moment too where like my country behind self, I would be in the pods and I'd be like, that's a hoot, and he'd be like, it's a holler,
Yeah.
Hoot
or
and a holler.
yes, and I would always say it's a hoot and a holler. So we got out to the reveal, and he's like, baby, this is a hoot, and I said, and a holler,
That's
and
so
like we were
cute.
finishing out to each other's sentences, and it was precious, it was so sweet.
Was it
Like-
crazy to hear his voice then in front of
Yes.
you after hearing it? For
Because
2
y'all can
weeks?
hear his voice. His voice is deep.
Yes.
I bet
It
that was
is
just so
deep.
weird to like put the voice with
It
the
was.
face.
Yes.
Golly.
It was. But it was nice, and like his teeth,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, he's got great
Yeah,
teeth.
he did.
Phenomenal. And like that's something that I look at. I'm like, okay, what do your teeth look like? Like,
Yeah.
dental hygiene to me is very, very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, yeah.
And y'all would stand there at the sinks and brush your teeth together.
We
I
sure
remember.
would. Period.
Love to show that.
Yeah.
Don't
lot
show any of the other deep conversations,
Right,
but
I'm
please
like,
continue to show all these Love is
Please
Blind people
show
brushing
us
their teeth.
brushing our teeth.
The skincare, the brushing the teeth. Is there, like, do they have a partnership with Colgate or something?
I
What's
mean, they
happening here?
must. They truly must.
Is it product placement? Enough.
Enough.
I genuinely do not need to watch these. I love you, but I
Yes.
really don't need
Like-
to watch you brush your teeth
No,
anymore.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
You really don't. And
And-
that
oh.
is okay.
Hold on. we have to talk about the gold goblets.
The gold goblets. Come on.
We
What
have
is
to
it?
talk about the gold of it all.
Yes.
So I understand that it needs to be opaque for continuity. I understand. I understand because, we'll watch a Real Housewives show and we can see that glass of wine moving up and down from
the editing.
From the editing. And we're like, okay, well, that sentence actually happened before this one because the wine.
So they wanted them opaque.
I know that they want them opaque so that they don't have to worry about continuity. We can't actually see how much is being, it has nothing to do with like, are they drinking too much?
Yeah, no.
It's the continuity, okay, everybody? Let me tell you, I'm a television girly.
Yes.
Broadcasting major.
Yes.
Continuity is very important.
It is. No, it really actually is. But also, too, there's things with like brands. So we can't have like Fiji, Aquafina, Dasani because Netflix nor Love is Blind, Kinetic, does not own Aquafina, Fiji, Dasani, all of that.
So even like brands on your clothing, they can't show.
No, brands on our clothing. It's like did anybody ever see us wearing a Nike shirt?
No.
Did anyone ever seeing us wearing a Gucci shirt? No. So those brands, like
I wouldn't be able to pack any of my Gucci
None
shirts.
of your Gucci
If I went
none
and
of
did
it.
this,
None
if
of
I
the Prada.
divorced my husband, I would never be able to wear any of my brands. And y'all know how many I have of those.
Yes.
So many.
Right.
None.
Me popping off TJ Maxx tags.
Yeah,
Thank
yes, Maxinista, thank you.
Yes.
But like, I understand it had to be opaque, but why did we have to go with gold and these
I like
goblets?
the gold. Why don't you like the gold goblet?
It's too much. It's just like, I get it. You're doing a gold goblet.
But I feel like it's
in my face.
It became like an iconic thing. I liked the guy on Instagram that became the
The
gold
gold goblet. And honey, he has flourished since he's done that.
Doing
for
reels
him.
as the gold goblet. I thought I like that.
I should have done something. I should have just leaned into my annoyance of it, but instead
Truly.
it just makes me nuts. Because here's the thing. I don't like to drink out of metal.
Yeah, that's what your problem
It
is.
tastes really weird.
It doesn't actually,
Oh,
which thank
okay.
goodness,
Thank
because
goodness
I
I don't
too
like
am the
that.
same way.
Okay.
In the same way, and it doesn't taste funky.
Like, I can't eat ice cream off of a metal spoon because it.
You want a plastic spoon.
Yes, I gotta have my IKEA plastic spoons. If you know, you know. They're sold in the baby area.
They're the best.
Yes,
I love
those.
that.
Yeah.
And I have to eat it off a even my kids know, or a bowl of cereal. Dairy and metal for some reason
They don't
it tastes
mix.
something.
Yeah.
But also if it's metal like rimmed around, so I can just taste it.
You know what
I
it
feel
is
like
though, I think for you.
What is
it's
it?
when you chipped your tooth.
It is
on
I'm
a beer
triggered.
bottle. I think, and that was like a hard thing.
Yeah.
And so I think you're triggered by
I
it.
don't like that.
Yeah.
I just got it.
So you're
fixed.
watching them sip from the goblets, and
I
you're
don't-
worried about her
I
beautiful
am.
teeth.
I'm worried about all their teeth, I guess, and I don't want that for y'all. But it's just, were y'all annoyed by it? They're like, bring in the gold goblets.
yeah,
Where are the gold goblets?
Actually, we were at the honeymoon and we were going to host a pool party at a public pool.
Yeah.
And they were they being random people on vacation, were looking at these goblets being placed and they were like, oh my God,
Love is blind.
oh my God, love is blind, love is blind,
here.
love is blind. So we had to truly move and go do our little scene somewhere
Oh my
else.
gosh.
Because the gold
Because
goblets
the
gave them away.
gold goblets gave it
So
away.
if they keep this going in future seasons,
And they will.
they're going to have to really get sneaky about it.
They absolutely will, and they're just going to have to get sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so funny
Go
to
in
me.
hiding.
These gold goblets, I just can't.
Honestly.
But I love all the people all the funny like comedian people who make
Yes.
the reels about it, and the goblet gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes.
Stop, I have not seen
Oh,
that.
it's
so
so
funny.
good.
Okay,
It's
I'm
so
going to have to
funny.
watch.
Okay,
What
so-
do you think of? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I want to know, this has been a burning question for me. May not be important, but I want to know. After the reveal, you see each other, you cuddle, you're happy, everyone's cheering and rejoicing. What then happens? How soon again do you see him?
Okay, so we
Because he walks back off this way, you walk back off
Right.
this way.
So then I'm kind of like, is it days later or do they get to
Yes.
see each other that night?
so no, we don't get to see each other that night, and everything has to be on camera.
right.
Wow.
Everything has to be on camera.
Wowie.
And there's a lot of people, and so we don't see each other that night. We see each other the next day.
Okay. Are you leaving for your
And
honeymoon
so
that
we're
day?
leaving for our honeymoon.
So it's like airport time.
yes.
Wow.
So then we get to the honeymoon, and then that's when y'all saw us in the red car.
Yes.
We get in the car, we
Yes.
see each other,
Yes.
then we go to our room, and then we're together forever and
Do
holly
y'all
jolly.
sit together
whatever.
on the plane?
No.
This is what I'm saying. That's the timeline in my head. I'm like, when did they next see each other?
No. So we do not sit on the plane together because the thing is that think about it this way.
They don't
Like,
want it to
you-
be. You have to have it filmed.
Exact. Well, it's you want it to be filmed, but if we then like say we sit on the plane together, then we're talking about everything.
For hours.
We're talking about everything for hours. And then we go to the room together and we're talking about things for hours without being seen. So like that's the whole part of the
Were
experiment.
you chomping at the bit to like see him again?
Yes.
hold him
Oh,
again,
oh
and
my God.
talk
I
to
was
him
like
and-
pacing my room. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm ready to get out. Like put me on this plane.
Yes.
Like all of that. And so I was like,
They
I'm
didn't have
ready
a red
to
eye?
go.
I mean, what's going on?
No, I'm sure.
From LA?
So, right. So the thing is that you finally, because think about it this way. No one ever realizes, because we're humans and what's normal is normal,
Right.
of like, hey, if I want to touch you, I can touch you. It might be a
Yeah.
little weird if I'm touching random people,
Yeah.
but think about
you
how
can touch
like, think about how we hold our eyebrows, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're like confused and it's
Yeah.
always like a question mark behind us, or how someone eats.
Yes.
Yes.
You want to see
You
all
go on
those
a first
things.
date and you're looking at how someone eats,
Mhm.
right? I do.
Absolutely.
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 Yes.
I even pay
Or how they
attention.
treat wait staff or any,
Oh
like,
my gosh.
we are
I-
sizing someone up in a million ways
Yes.
at that first dinner.
I used to talk to a guy. We were on a trip. I looked at him and I was like, are you not going to look at the waiter?
Yeah.
Ooh, he
What's
was
going-
rude. I don't like that.
I was
No,
like,
no.
Electric
and
chair.
I literally sat there. I was like, yeah, I will not sit here. Like, I know, like, you will not
No.
do that with me because I
No.
don't. Because, one, I used to be a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
Two, people have got to make it work however they got to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And if that
Yep.
means them being a waitress
Yep.
at either a fine dine restaurant or
That's
a
it.
hole in the wall
Or a Waffle House.
or a
Yeah.
Waffle House, it doesn't matter.
Give
Like,
me
you
that
treat
all-star
people with
breakfast,
respect.
please.
Amen.
You
like,
better-
honestly, I want one right now because I'm starving.
I
Let's
know.
go to
Like,
Waffle
that would-
House after this.
No,
Good.
let's.
We
Oh,
really-
actually, like, let's do that.
We
Or Taco
really-
Bell. We're big Taco Bell people. Or
Yeah.
Waffle
I
House.
love Taco Bell. Like, my tummy's growling.
Did you see that they're doing a whole new Cheez-Its menu?
Yeah, there's Cheez-Its.
Yes.
Cheez-Its.
Slap your
Yes.
mama, sis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Laura
Yeah.
actually has a partnership
I know.
with Taco Bell.
I commented on it last night.
Good.
I was like, how did you get this? Because
Literally.
we
She
are
does?
humongous Taco Bell people.
She has a partnership with Taco Bell because that girl rides for some Taco Bell.
We do too. It's on our soundboard.
on our
The Taco Bell
soundboard.
bell is on our soundboard, and
Yes.
it has been forever. And we love Taco Bell. And the fact that people talk so much smack about it, I'm like, fine, more for us.
Yeah.
More for us. Y'all go home.
Don't
Yeah.
care. But they have so many new items, and we haven't been able to go to one to
Cheez-Its,
try it.
I love
the,
Cheez-Its.
They have a giant Cheez-It.
the Cheez-Its is now inside the Crunch Wrap.
The
Shut
Cheez-Its
your
is
mouth.
this big. It's this
Oh my God,
with the
stop
meat
it.
and the lettuce on top and folded in. The Cheez-It
Yes.
is this big.
Why-
Y'all, okay,
Oh my
so let me
God.
just like, I'm just airing all of my truth.
No,
Yeah.
tell it.
I am an indulger.
Yes.
Okay.
So like you were talking about weight earlier and all of that good stuff. So, and then also too, I was talking about how my dad passed away when I was 5.
Right.
That's how I handle stress is I eat.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so
'Cause it
I
brings joy.
indulge. No, truly, it brings so much comfort and so much joy to
Yeah.
me. And I do not eat to survive. I eat for pleasure.
Yes.
Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have
Yes,
a best
girl.
friend. She eats for survival. I have another best friend. She also eats for pleasure. And I'm like, yeah, sign me up.
It's-
You want to go eat?
it's
And I'm
pleasure.
full. I'll go eat with you. Screw it.
Yes. Because
Pleasure.
food just tastes so good.
It does.
good.
Oh my God.
It
And-
gets all those things firing in my
yes.
brain more than alcohol, more than any of that.
Oh
it's
my
food
God.
for me.
Mhm.
I literally, my drunk is getting drunk off of like eating good food. I'm a foodie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But you drink.
I do.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
you
do.
do drink.
So
Yes.
you
Okay.
did have wine in your goblet.
I had coffee, I had water, and I had a mule
Okay.
one
Is that
time.
your, drink of course?
Choice, not quiz.
Not
Coitus.
coitus. Not coitus. Because we know that one. We're not doing coitus.
What's coitus?
What's coitus?
Oh, wait, coital.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Because they were gonna
Y'all
save
were
themselves.
saving yourselves.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
coitus is sex.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they say coital.
I've never heard of
Oh,
such.
the
It's
coital.
like the coital
bliss?
muscle. Look at it. Okay.
Okay, now into sex talk and
Okay.
sex education. Look
Yeah,
it up,
yeah,
girl.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
gosh.
but that was a big part of y'all's relationship in the pod, right? Is saying
was.
like we want to save ourselves.
Yes.
Especially like if we're getting married in 30 days, I'm pretty sure that we can wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you waited? Am I allowed to ask you that?
You are allowed to ask me that. And also, too, what I talked about earlier, misconceptions.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us.
I want, like, I have come clean about this and I actually did this on also another podcast.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people are like, oh, Brittany has saved herself for marriage, because some people do think that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and even throw it in, like, honestly, it hurts. Maybe it hurts people's feelings. Like, oh, it was misconstrued, like a misperception, all that. But like, I'm real as raw as it gets. Like, yes, I've had sex before.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But you were just saying for this
For
experiment.
this experience,
Yeah.
it makes so much more sense.
Yes.
was I going to go on national television and
That part.
talk dirty talk and talk about sex
No.
and all of that stuff?
No.
No, I was not.
No.
If I
Don't
go
blame
on
you one
another
bit.
show, if I'm ever asked to go on another show, will I be having sex on the show? No.
Probably
No.
not.
No.
No.
It's not your thing. It's
not my thing.
You're like, if I want to have sex on
Right.
camera, there's another avenue for that. And
Right.
that's not-
And I can honestly guarantee you, baby, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, that's right. The BMills
Period.
OnlyFans, know that.
Are we here to launch that today?
She's like, speaking of eggs and baskets, follow me on OnlyFans.
But I do understand in this situation, it's like, okay, so we've dated for 2 weeks. We've gotten engaged.
Yeah.
We've gone on a 1-week honeymoon and we're getting married in 30 days. Pretty sure we can hold out for that.
Yeah, pretty sure we can hold out for that. But also, too, y'all, like, I am so picky. Like, to the people, to the listeners, I am actually so picky. That was the thing, is like I was saying, it's very normal for humans to, like, look at people and
Yes.
go on a first date and be like, oh, how do you eat?
Yeah.
Y'all, if someone eats the wrong way, I'm like, no.
And you're already engaged to this man,
And I'm
and you
already
haven't even watched
engaged.
him take a bite of Taco Bell Cheez-It.
Exactly.
So how did he
Or,
eat?
like, how you sit at the table.
Yes.
And I'm like,
so how did he eat for
So
you?
what- how-
so he is very, 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 very prim and proper.
Okay.
Oh.
I did
And
get that.
we love that, but for me personally, I didn't like the way he held his hand over his mouth.
He was doing that a lot, especially in that last conversation y'all were having. He was sitting there with the white container of food.
Yep.
Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
And he was whatever that was, it did look delicious. I remember.
It was actually shout out Leroy and Fox, and I put him on.
Oh, okay.
And I put
It
him
looked
on.
real good.
Looked
he
real
was
good.
eating it and doing the hand hover.
But it was like
It was giving too.
it was giving too structured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Like, it's okay. Like, just get into it.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah. And
Again, maybe if we're going back to like the masculinity of it, like it's not a
I
bad
need
thing
a
for
fist.
Yeah.
I need like a
Yeah.
like a grungy
like
come on.
Yes. Not this.
Or my kids always there's also reels that go around that talk about how teachers how they eat, and they always go
Right.
Like if
And
I
I'm
watched a man do that, if I watched like a man do that, I'd be like ick. It's an automatic
Major freaking ick,
So
dude.
we can talk about some icks, and so you're not getting to see these icks in these little things.
Yeah, you're not
You're
seeing
engaged,
it
and it's
in the
like
pods.
here come all the icks.
That's
Yes.
so true. I didn't even think about the it.
Right, right. Or like, have you
Huh.
ever thought about how, like me, I, once again, used to talk to this guy who would run the shower for forever
No.
Before getting in.
before getting in. And
2
also,
minutes,
too,
it's warm.
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Once you see the steam.
in the shower.
Yeah.
In the freaking shower.
It's so
Or-
wasteful too. It's
it's so
wasteful
wasteful.
on power.
It's gallons
it's
and
wasteful
gallons.
on water.
And there's a time actually in LIB season 6 on here where I'm talking to Kenneth and I'm like, okay, so I said something about our water bill. I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to pay attention to our water bill
Yes,
now
you
because
did.
you brush your teeth and you leave the water on.
You did
Why
say
is it
that.
on? You
Yeah,
did.
why is it on?
Literally, why is it on?
Why is
Yes.
it on?
Turn
so,
it off.
So that was like a little hint of like maybe a thing that you're now seeing, you're noticing, now kind of living with this person, being around this
Yes.
person. So do you feel like, okay, I want to know when you felt it shift. When were you like,
into the honeymoon?
yeah. When were
Brittany, come on, girl. Was it the dolphin of it all?
was it the dolphin? Yeah.
Okay, so and also too, people ask, they're like, oh, well, you went on a dating show where you can't see the person. Physical attraction is important.
It
to me,
matters.
Period.
Period.
It's important
You
to
know,
everybody,
like-
and they're lying if they say it isn't.
Right. Like, people went for Clay's neck when he was talking about it. Now, let me step back a little bit. They went for his neck for an appropriate reason because he was like, you have to have this. You have to have that. You have to
You
have
can't
that.
gain weight after pregnancy.
Right.
Like, these
Okay,
are some
yeah.
major things you can't
need
say.
to be canceled for saying that.
Yeah.
Whatever. But physical attraction is very important to me.
Yes.
I do have a type.
Yes.
I really do. Light skinned, buff, in
Yeah.
the gym.
Yeah.
You better have broad shoulders. You got to be
Yeah.
shredded, all of that stuff. Like, and also, you got to be able to pick me up. I mean,
That's it.
you called me petite earlier, and God bless. I
Yeah.
do really appreciate.
Yeah.
However, I got some meat. I got some meat on my
That's
bones.
okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
okay.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
it for all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, I have a type, and like
Like, throw me around a little.
You got to be able to throw me around.
Yeah, pick me up, throw me over your shoulder. If I'm waist case, no, I'm just kidding.
If I'm a naughty girl,
If I'm a naughty girl,
who's going to spank me?
right, period. It's okay. Wait, I can also too. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're so sweet and genuine." I'm like, "Yeah, I am," but also too, like, I'm spicy. And
Yes.
I want you to know that about me.
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
So-
I get that.
Anywho,
So you had a type,
yes,
but you were willing to say, okay, things are working.
absolutely.
I still really dig you. I
Girl,
love you.
I'm trying to be married.
I'm
That's
trying to be
it.
married. Let's
Yes.
go on this honeymoon.
Yes.
Let's brush our teeth a bunch.
Yeah.
And
Right.
have a Moscow
We
Mule.
didn't get these good white teeth for nothing.
No, thank you. And then we're a couple days into it. Y'all still haven't been giving back your phones. So
No.
on the honeymoon,
right.
it's still just the two of you.
It's just the two of us. And just flat out saying it, like Kenneth, he actually applied to the show.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, you applied to the show. Why are you getting annoyed with the camera people?
Right. Oh.
You applied to the show. Why are
You're
you
like, I'm the
annoyed
one
for
who's
the
never
things
seen
that they're
it.
asking of us?
Yes. So they wanted to keep
So-
having conversations.
Yeah, yeah.
Miking, they
Right.
want to keep doing, and he's
And
frustrated
he's just
by
a little
this.
frustrated because he is an introvert. And like we've talked about this many of times, like he is an introvert, like, and he does come off as an extrovert, very loud, proud,
Yeah.
whatever, and that's okay. But like he too has to have his time. And that's the thing is that I can speak towards both sides. I'm like, why are you complaining? Suck it up, Buttercup. You
Yep.
applied for this. Like,
Yes.
get over it.
They came to me,
I'm not
bud.
going to pat you on the
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
or the butt or whatever you need. Like, sorry, call me harsh, but like, I'm not going to do it.
No.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I too can be an extrovert, but I can also be an introvert as
Yeah.
well. Like, I need my time, I need my space.
Yes.
The way that he handles situations is he needs to step away from stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He can't just like be in it and be like, okay, like we can game plan here, here, here.
Okay.
Not calling out his shortcomings, but like
Right.
he prefers to, you know, take
Retreat.
some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay. And that's why he is so respectful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it does
It's not
come.
popping off.
No, sorry.
You can take a sip of your water and I won't react.
You
Go
won't
ahead.
flinch?
No, I won't flinch. Go ahead. I actually want you to take it. Take as much time as you want.
I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, because we're going to Taco Bell.
Right, yes. But he does not retaliate either.
Right.
And so like and that's why I respect him so much.
Right.
Like a lot of people after the show they're like, "Oh my god, like he did this." And I'm like, "But y'all, truth be told, like I was heard. I was seen. I was expressive. Like we stayed up until 4 a.m. almost every single morning, nearly till the sun came out, having good, like I was laughing so much, I was literally about to pee myself. Like we had such good conversations.
Y'all were
like
just meant to be friends.
Yeah.
I was building truly my best friend relationship
Yeah.
with him. I in no way, shape, or form am lying whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
truly. Like we laughed and cut up so
Yes.
much together.
But you just didn't have that.
I did
deep,
not
burning
have that
desire.
physical
Yeah.
The
sexual
relationship
tension.
spark.
Right.
Where it's like,
Right.
I want to be with this man.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Like I'm ready to rip him apart.
I'm warm inside.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
some type of way.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready to rip his clothes off.
We
It
all
was
know that. We all
all
know
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 that.
it. And even if, let me talk to my ladies that are waiting to have sex before marriage.
Yeah.
You still have that feeling.
Yes.
You know what it feels like. It's our God-given gift as a woman, honey.
Yes.
Like,
Everybody
tap
was a virgin at some
into
point.
it.
Yes.
Like even the girls who
Right.
have. So you know what that felt like
that-
before the
Exactly.
first time, no matter what. So whether you're saving yourself or not, we all know that feeling.
Yes.
And you know like when you want to feel that more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
just-
And
weren't-
whoever
you weren't
you're
feeling it.
going to have a lifelong commitment with, you need to be going into that having that feeling.
Yes.
Exactly.
That
And
should
that
be a
was my thing.
Burning desire within
That was
you.
my thing. I was like, okay, this is not a situation where I've been in the past like, okay, like I can settle here, you
Yeah.
know, they do this, like I can settle for that. That's fine, whatever. When I'm looking at this situation, I'm like, no, I can't settle
No.
for me not having a physical attraction.
No,
and sexual
absolutely
desire.
not. No.
Correct. The
Um
experiment was Is Love Blind, and you were able to fall in love with a person you hadn't seen. So
Yeah.
that is still a true.
people ask me that.
That's
They're
right.
like, is love blind? And I'm like, actually, yes,
Yeah.
it is. It truly is. I fell in love with someone
Yes.
blindly.
But
Yes.
love and marriage aren't equal. People
That's
say,
it.
is love blind? Yes, it can be.
Yep.
But can you get married to them is a totally different ball game. Because you can fall in love with pen pals. You can fall in love with
Yep.
love can absolutely be blind. I mean, look at how many people get catfished.
Yeah.
that part.
And they fall in love and then they meet the person. They're like, I will not even take one more step with you. This is never going to happen. You got Nev right here in
Yeah.
MTV
Yeah.
going,
truly.
okay, yeah, so no, you're a dude. Like,
Yeah.
I thought I was talking to a woman. So obviously, can love be blind? Yes, because
Yes.
people are getting catfished out here in these
Yes.
streets.
Right.
And then they meet each other and they're like, wow, you're a 78-year-old man. Love that. No, actually, love and marriage aren't equal.
And they're
just
really not. And like the thing is about marriage too is that like it doesn't just take love.
No.
Yeah.
This is. Young women, listen to me. Love
Listen
is
to
not
me.
enough.
Love is not
Love
enough.
is not
I've
enough.
always
It will
said
never
that.
be enough. It will
No.
never be enough for you. Yeah. Oh, but I just love him so much.
No.
Okay, that's not who you are like riding hard with like 5, 10, 15 years later. It's not just love. It's who gets into the trenches, who's cleaning up the kids' throw up alongside you, who's
Correct.
meeting you at the ER. Like
Yep.
that's the stuff. That is so much bigger. Respect has to come and laughter and passion and everything else. Because if it were just about love, we would all have married our first boyfriend.
Yeah, right.
But when we're 17 going, I love him, mother.
Everyone would easily be married.
Everyone
we wouldn't
would-
even
yeah,
need these shows.
No, because love
Yep.
should be enough.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's so beyond that.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. And I'm like thankful that I know that now. And not that I didn't before, but just like even more so.
This proves it even
It's-
more so.
Yeah, it does. And the thing is like, yeah, it is blind, but you also have to have all of the boxes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
So how
that's
quickly?
okay.
How quickly did you say? Okay, was it during the honeymoon that you thought this probably ain't gonna work?
It did start to come up during the honeymoon, yes.
And was he saying the same thing back to you?
No,
Yeah,
he was
that's what's
very,
hard.
very much so there. But my thing is that I was very intentional with how I was bringing it up, which then leads us to another thing. So let me stay here for just a 2nd. So
You can stay here as long as you want.
it started in the honeymoon, and I was just noticing things. I was like, no, like. He needed like a lot, he also needed like a lot of time just like to himself. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It was just, I just started to feel it. And then I was like, we were eating together. We were doing this together. We were doing everything together. And I was like, just that physical attraction just was not there for me. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's it.
And so then we went back to the house. We come back to Charlotte. We move into our house. He gets his phone. He's on his phone 24/7. And if you notice in the show, I look at him and I'm like, don't be on your phone too much. So I started to notice how much he was on his phone. However, keep in the back of your mind, which y'all couldn't have done this, watching it, I'm in my head being like, yeah, I'm not attracted to this person.
Right.
So, if I was attracted to this person and I wanted to be with this person, you best believe that his phone would have been ran over and in a creek somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That's
Yep,
it.
yep.
However,
Yep.
Because you would have been feeling like, I got to fight for this because I want this man.
exactly.
I want this attention that
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
this.
However, I'm starting to pull back. So he's on his phone. I'm looking at him. He's on his phone. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm already pulling out. Why am I going to fight for this? Why am I
No.
going to ask him to be on his phone? But I'm going to call it out one time
Yeah.
because, like, honestly, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm
it's not just
happy-
going to be a problem for me.
I'm happy the editors leaned into that and showed it. So it
Yeah.
didn't even just look like you calling it out. We as the viewers could see it
Oh my
over
God,
and over
so
and
many
over.
Put it
people.
down. Put the phone down.
Yeah.
Put the phone down. Put
Even,
the
they
phone
even
down.
showed it. I noticed when y'all flew back into Charlotte and y'all were standing around in the airport waiting for Ubers to come
was
get
on his
y'all.
phone.
He was on his phone, looking down at his phone.
Granted, we had just gotten our phone back then, but yeah, he was on his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is another thing. Let me make sure, and of course, too, we're trying to go big with this, okay? So if this gets all over.
Yeah. Spread it far and wide.
Right. Spread it firm.
Yeah.
Like wildfire.
Yep. Yep, yep.
But I do want to make notice that, like, yes, he is a principal.
I get
I
that.
understand that, y'all,
get
and
that.
I get that. But also, too,
Time and place.
we were still on the 3 weeks when we were back in Charlotte
Yeah.
prior when he was on his phone. So I
That's
was
it.
like, honestly, and I own my own business. So
Yeah.
just sit down.
Right.
Yeah. Like we
Like
all
you agreed to be on a TV show.
Yeah.
But
right?
everybody could be on their phone all the time. And the point is, like, prioritize it,
Yes.
right? Say, okay, for 2 hours, I need to run the gamut. I've got to
Yeah.
get back in touch with
Sure.
Give me 2 hours,
Teachers,
and then I'm putting it
kids.
down, and we
Yeah.
are connecting.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
we all know how to do this, and
Yeah.
I know I know you're coming back from 3 weeks, right? But you have people you need to talk to.
right.
Everyone has somebody that
Yeah.
they need to
Yeah.
talk to.
But the thing is, though, a lot of people did look at me and they were like, okay, you're so hurt. Like, he's being so disrespectful. Like, I just wanted to hug you. Like, I had people text me being like, oh my God, I'm watching this and I just want to hug you so bad, yada, yada, yada. Everyone was thinking that he was hurting my feelings.
I wasn't taking it as that.
And you were more just like pulling away, pulling away.
Yeah.
I was so emotional. Okay, so let me hold on. The phone situation, I said that on the bed when he was sitting on the bed on his phone. I started to notice it more, yada, yada. I'm still pulling back, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
He went to his mom's house. He came back, I think, the next night. He woke me up. That's why I was like, you woke me up at 1:30 in the morning, yada, yada. It was
Yeah.
our first day back to work.
Oh.
No one interrupts my sleep.
No,
Not here.
electric chair.
Not here.
Do not do that.
Nobody interrupts my sleep.
No one.
No.
Like, no one.
My husband takes Ubers to the airport. He took an Uber to the airport the other morning
Yeah.
because he had to be there at 5, and I was like,
Not driving you.
go ahead and grab that Uber. Like,
Yeah, go grab
that's-
that Uber, baby.
That's why it's there.
Yeah.
that's what,
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. He's like, but I'm going to be gone for a week. I was like, and I'm going to say good night, or I'm going to say goodbye
I'll
to you.
make some good love to you before.
Like
Yeah.
before you leave
Yeah.
this here home, you'll know I love you.
Yeah.
Me taking you to the airport
At 5 a.m.?
At 5 a.m.
No, that's
it's not
not-
a way for me because I'm not going to be my best self.
No.
I'm not
wanna
going to be my
end-
most loving self.
You don't want to end on that note.
No, if you get on that
No.
plane, God forbid, like this is not the last you want to think of me.
No.
So
You
so
want to
he-
think about the love that you
Thank
got the night before.
So he
That's
did
it.
take an Uber that
Amen.
day. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, and that's just
Okay,
what's
so-
right is right.
Yeah. So the fact that he interrupted your sleep even one time, it's enough to say goodbye.
Yeah. That's
So,
what you
right.
had to say to us, Brittany. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Nothing else. No other
Exactly.
thing matters to us because we are such
Because of
bad
that.
sleepers that when we are asleep,
Baby, I'm asleep.
Please do not interrupt that.
Absolutely
for
not.
anything.
Right. And so, anyways, we continue, whatever. I think this is the third day. We both had a long day at work, whatnot. And then he comes in, and that is the first time that we had that conversation about me not being physically attracted to him in the kitchen. A lot
While
of
he was
people-
eating the food?
While he was eating the food.
Okay.
A lot of people were like, oh, they talked before. They did this. They had this conversation. The cameras called them back. No, that's false information. I will sing it from the hilltop.
Yes. So here we are. We're sitting here right now.
Yes, we had the first conversation about me not being physically attracted to Kenneth in the kitchen the night that everybody saw.
Wow.
So it did take him by surprise, and he was like, okay, this is new information to me, all of that. But also, too, I was like, okay, it's new information to you. Have I tried to make out with you and stick my tongue down your throat?
No.
No.
Have
And
I
even when
tried
y'all were
touching
on
you?
when you all were on the
No.
boat and he was not really like
Yeah.
He wasn't putting his arm under you.
And
Like there was nothing.
you were trying to guide
I was
him in the
like,
right
yeah.
direction. You were like, I really just need like
Yeah,
a
physical
guy to
touch,
like
I
And
love
like and he kind of got like a little shelled by that conversation.
Okay.
So we had a conversation after the boat, and he was like, "Yeah, like I didn't realize like that made me feel some type of way, yada yada." And I'm like, "Okay, once again, like closed mouths don't get fed, babe."
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I know just
No, that's right. Closed mouths do not get fed.
They don't.
And that's
They
the
don't.
title.
Period. They don't, honestly, and I will live by that, and that is a hill I'm willing to.
Yeah, and you should.
Um,
That should be like your book title, honestly.
Yes,
When
yes.
you write one.
Honestly,
Yeah,
it
we
should
won't
be.
take it. We're not going to trademark it.
That's all right,
but
baby.
we
Yeah.
are. They heard it here.
It's on the
no one
record.
else- it's on the record. No one else can do anything.
Yeah,
with
take
it.
that on the
It's
record.
Brittany's. Thank you. So this is the first conversation. Did you think it was going to end the relationship right then and there, or did you think he was going to fight? Or
I
what'd you
didn't,
think?
y'all. I did not know what was going to happen. I was so in my head about that conversation, or just like I was so there.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was so emotional. What I was saying earlier is because I knew I was hurting him.
Yeah.
Because I knew he was 10 toes down.
Yeah.
I knew that he would have walked down the aisle on his phone, yes,
Yes.
to me to get married.
Live streaming.
Like I knew that like he wanted me to meet his family. I have met his family now. Like I
Yeah.
love
Okay.
him. I've FaceTime his mom. I love her. Like that's the thing. And Kenneth is a good man.
Yeah.
He is a good man.
Yeah.
He's
Comes across as a good
respectful.
Yeah.
He's got dignity. He's got
Yes.
integrity.
Yes.
He's got a foundation under him. He's successful.
Yeah.
He's got money.
Yeah.
Like, call it out there, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, truly, he is so good.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Brittany,
Saw that crap I was talking
You-
about men earlier. Apparently, Kenneth is actually really nice. Sorry.
sorry. He really is. He
Yeah.
really is. But like, and the wife that he marries one day, she's gonna be so
Right.
lucky.
He's just got to find the right woman.
I was so torn up in the kitchen, and everybody was like, well, Brittany's crying because, Kenneth's hurting her. I'm like, no, y'all. He's
I know I'm
not
gonna
hurting
hurt
me.
him.
I know I'm hurting him.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I don't
And you
want
had
to
formed,
hurt this
like-
gentle giant.
You had formed like a best friend relationship at that
Yes.
point. So you don't want to hurt him.
And I didn't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, do anything other than love him and
Brittany,
just.
you could have really gaslit him. You could have turned it around on him.
Yeah.
You could
You
have,
could
especially
have.
in front of the cameras, you could have just been like,
Yep.
you're on your phone all the time. I don't feel wanted, needed, desired, cherished, whatever. You're not doing this, that. I don't like the way you hold your mouth
Yeah.
or your hand over your mouth, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, you could have lit that boy up, and you could, people would have really, like, rallied behind you in that way.
Truth be told, y'all,
Yeah.
respectfully, I could have had a bigger following if I did
Yeah,
that.
I bet
Yeah.
you would have.
Yeah.
I bet you would have.
Like,
but you
but
still
I'm not
chose
gonna do
truth.
that.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
what's so amazing, and that's why I hope that people see that
Yeah.
and that it comes through for you.
Yes.
Especially because I don't feel like you got enough airtime,
Absolutely
especially
not.
in the reunion.
And the reunion.
I'm just like, wait, why are we not talking? I do not want to hear about Giannina and Blake's baby. Not one more second.
It was too much
What's going
time.
on?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
We didn't get enough time with you guys, and we didn't get enough time with Jimmy and Chelsea.
No.
No.
What
No.
was going on
had a
there?
lot
A
of
lot of
questions there.
people did say that. They did. And that's why I made the smart aleck remark. Like, one thing about me,
Yes.
I'm gonna be a smart aleck.
You were like, well, now that we finally have our time.
Yeah,
to
I said,
talk,
oh, now it's
Yeah.
finally our
now
time.
it's
Thank
finally-
you.
How long had y'all been sitting there before they had ever come to y'all?
Hours.
5-6 hours. I feel like it had to have
It
been
was
a ton of filming.
2.5 hours.
Okay, 2.5 hours before they came to y'all and asked you. Meanwhile, you watched them interview these other people from
And
other
I was just
seasons
sitting
first.
there, and like, and God bless,
No.
like, once
No.
again, let me make sure that I say this, and this is
have this?
actually,
Oh,
please,
but
yeah,
you-
baby,
but
please,
can I have it instead?
yes,
Thank you.
yes, God, but like, that's the thing is that like, I love my Netflix family, I really do, I love my kinetic family, I honestly, my experiment and experience was phenomenal.
Okay.
And I only speak to my story
Of course,
because that's,
that's all
the
you can
only
do.
thing that I can speak
That's right.
to. But like, truth be told, like, love my time there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Did I have more to say than what was said?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why you're going to say it here.
Yep.
But yeah, and that's the thing. And like, I did get to say what I wanted to say on there because like they gave us more time, but like, was it aired? No.
No, of course not.
And
Like
so,
obviously,
yeah.
half your conversations.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, why didn't y'all get more? Why?
I think y'all, truth be told, I mean, even Vanessa Lachey and Nick Lachey said
Yeah.
this. They were like, y'all don't realize this, but like y'all helped our marriage with the
Aw.
way that y'all communicate.
I heard them
And the
say that,
way,
but I'm glad
yes,
that they did.
no, they put us on the side of the stage,
so
and like
beautiful.
they truly were like, y'all don't realize this, but like y'all have helped our marriage.
Wow.
And I think
Imagine the
that that's
impact that
the
that could have
reason.
had.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the reason why is like, okay, why didn't Kenneth and Brittany get more airtime? Well, because we were emotionally mature.
Too wholesome.
Yeah. Well, that's
We
true.
were-
It's not dramatic.
No.
We were not dramatic. We were not retaliating. We were
yeah.
not calling each
Okay,
other
that's-
out on
that
each
doesn't
other's.
Make, quote, good TV
Exactly.
if you're not.
And Sarah Ann said it herself. Like,
Yeah.
we made good TV, baby.
We're entertaining people,
Yeah,
baby.
right. And
Yeah.
Are
like,
they still together?
no, girl,
I know that they break up and get together
Yes,
a lot,
yes.
but are they still like from the
I don't
reunion?
keep up.
I don't keep up. I don't know.
I don't know
anything. I
either.
just wasn't sure if there was a group chat talking about it.
I'm sure there is somewhere in the ether.
yeah.
But as far as I know, the last that
the
I
group chat
heard,
amongst all you girls being like, can y'all believe these
yeah, right.
people are still together?
From what I have heard, most recently they are not together.
yeah, that's never gonna last. That's never
Right.
gonna make it.
But I think that truly is the reason why. And like honestly, I get and I understand Netflix. I understand Connecticut. Like, y'all got to make y'all's money. And
Yeah.
I'm all about getting you back.
Yes, absolutely. If
Yeah.
there's one thing we're going to do, we're going to get the coin. But it's just a shame because I think that both can be true. You can still show calm, cool, collected, because we do need to see some of that, because it can't always. It's kind of like when we're watching Bravo. It can't all be explosive. I like to watch them be silly and do dumb stuff too.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that's fine. We have to have that balance in there. It can't always be screaming.
And I think too, y'all, it does have a lot to do with me. And the reason that I say this is because I was so mindful of my words. I was so mindful of my actions.
You sure were.
I was so mindful of how I spoke about things, how I talked about everything, because nothing in me ever wanted to like have a mishap. And be misconstrued.
Yeah.
Be misunderstood.
Be canceled.
Or a wrong perception. Nothing. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, all right, well, do I say I'm not attracted to him? Oh, is it because he's black?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
God's sake.
Because especially you don't know what's been shown or not shown of all your conversations.
That's true.
Exactly.
You don't know the edit.
Yeah.
The edit is
you
a
don't
big
know what
deal.
the edit's going to be. And meanwhile, they did cut a lot of that out.
They did.
And so
but that's why I'm saying I'm thankful that they did show a lot of, I think, kind of his missteps to show to you, to the audience, like, hey, this guy's not perfect. She is well within her reasons to say, this ain't it for me. Sorry.
Right.
And you so respectfully had that conversation in the kitchen. It was so pure and real.
Yeah.
And I felt as a viewer like, this just wasn't meant to be between the two of them, but I do feel that friendship connection between them.
Yeah.
And what a great thing to come out of this,
Yes,
at least.
honestly.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And we have stayed connected. We've been good friends, like all that. Like I have called him complaining about work, and he's like, you need to get out of there. Like you need to bank on yourself, all that. Like I've asked about his students. I've FaceTimed his mom. His mom FaceTimed me, like all of that stuff.
Okay, good.
And so like it's a good foundation, good relationship.
Yeah,
we
good.
check in with each other. He just sent me a message on TikTok the other day, like just randomly, because we were both active at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like I could not have asked for a better experiment. And also,
glad.
no one goes, respectfully and humbly coming, as you said, I didn't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
No one goes on national television, reality TV, Netflix, Love is Blind, thinking that they're going to come out being named America's sweetheart.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really
true.
good point.
No one ever expects that.
You go into it probably thinking the opposite of
Thinking I'm gonna be the villain.
What
Exactly.
exactly is going to happen here to me.
And no one ever comes out as lucky as I did.
You really
You
really
came
were.
out shining.
But I don't think I'm going to call that luck, though.
No,
I don't think I'm going to call that
I
luck.
think it's just who you are.
As I said earlier, you have this emotional maturity. You have a wisdom beyond your years. And you knew that going into this. And you knew you needed to be careful about what you said, how you said it.
Yeah.
Really thinking about how could they edit me?
Yeah.
And there was no other way to edit you but to be this wonderful, sweet human being.
Yeah, I don't think it's because you were being careful. I just think that's who you are.
Yeah.
And it was, and I appreciate the highlight there, because it's the fact of I wasn't saying anything that I didn't mean.
Yeah.
I just wasn't being ignorant.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you're not being ignorant, and you're also not popping off.
No.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably just not who you are.
That's right.
No,
That's okay.
And that's the thing, is that I very much so can pop off. And that's another thing that I've openly admitted. Like, I am spicy. And
Yeah.
Netflix and Connecticut, they got very sweet, wholesome Brittany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But never was I ever going to pop off and be misconstrued.
No.
And so I was like, yeah, am I going to come in protecting myself? 1,010%. Honey, you want to pop off? Catch me on the side of the street. I'm going to pop off.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
these drivers in the left lane on 485.
Yeah,
like I'm
I'm
popping off every damn time.
Exactly.
I do feel like most of the women in this show had like a pretty good edit. Like all of
I
the
agree.
women came away.
Yep.
Like I feel like AD, you know, even walking down the aisle and that whole thing with him, like that was rough, but she still had a good edit. Now, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say Chelsea because she looked a little crazy.
Yeah.
This is how I describe this, because many people have asked me. I don't think Chelsea had a bad edit.
Okay.
I think they highlighted to an extreme of her low moments.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we all have them.
And we all have them.
We all have a low moment.
They really did show a bunch of hers.
They
Yeah.
They were hellbent on making Jimmy look awesome.
I know. I don't
They
get
were
that.
hellbent
Well,
on that.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but him with the
didn't-
friend, but him with the friends,
I
bringing the
did
friends
date
around.
Jimmy.
Excuse me?
Yes, in the pods, you mean talking?
Oh, I thought you meant like
in
after.
the pods.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
No.
I was about to be like,
No, no. Electric chair. Do all the sounds. Absolutely not. No, I was saying in the pod she did.
In the
Okay,
pods,
so what
I
was-
dated
Pay attention,
Jimmy.
police.
So what was your impression of Jimmy in the pods?
Okay, so Jimmy and I, we connected because I was like, yeah, I grew up riding four-wheelers, going horseback
Yes.
riding.
He's
I
a
was in
country boy.
creeks, all this. And he's like, oh my God, like my mom would want me to marry you.
Yeah.
Like he legit told me that. And I was like, oh my God.
I want your mom
yes.
to love me.
Yeah, and I was just tickled. And like the way that he spoke, he was calm, cool, collected, all of that. But like one thing about Jimmy, and like I didn't necessarily say this like elsewhere, but like one thing about him is he was like, yeah, like I have always wanted that person that kind of takes like the back seat. And I was like, honey, I will tie you up and put duct tape on your mouth before
I'm in
take
the
some
back seat.
I love it's like the name of my podcast is Empowered.
Right.
You want me to be in the back seat. That's cute.
That's real
That's
cute.
really cute.
Wow.
idea.
Yeah, like get you a little stuffed, and you matter of fact, I'll put you a little stuffed teddy bear back there with
Was
you.
Chelsea gonna be that?
That's what I'm
Right,
wondering.
and so he
Or
and that's
any
the
girl
thing.
who comes on this show.
And Jess is not a backseat.
I was about to say, I'm certain
Chelsea's not a backseat.
Jess said some
No.
things that were like, I am a strong, independent single mom.
single mom
Yeah,
for years.
absolutely not. And so I think it enticed Jimmy out of me, Chelsea, because it was actually a love square.
Oh.
Because he broke up with me. The one I can't remember. It was like day 8, I think, was Rose Day. I don't know. Don't quote me.
Yeah, no,
and he
yeah.
broke up with me the day before, and then the next morning had to do the stuff with Chelsea and Jess.
Whoa, that's
very
how
next
far
day.
y'all made it?
Yeah,
Day 8?
I was dating Jimmy and Kenneth at the same time. Only my top 2.
I'm shook. They didn't show that at all, did they?
No, they didn't.
No. This is a news flash.
I'm shaking, physically shaking.
Physically shaking. So
Yeah.
day 8, you're still talking to Jimmy
Yeah.
and desiring
Does that
a proposal from him.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I was so tore up because Kenneth and I, like I said, don't quote me on day 8, y'all.
No.
I think it was probably day 7.
But day far into it, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. To me, I'm thinking
It was past day 4.
That is, we're more than halfway. We
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
rounding 75% here.
Yeah,
and we're
exactly.
still between 2 people.
Right, and Kenneth one night, I say looked at me, but was speaking to me, and
He
he
looked
was
at
like,
that blue fuzzy
yeah,
wall.
Yeah, and he goes, Brittany, like I need to tell you something. I was like, okay. I was laying on the couch. I was laying straight up, looking, and I was like, and he goes, I am not leaving here if it is not with you, and if it's not with you, then I'm leaving alone.
Yes.
Wow.
And I was laying up looking, and I looked over, and I said,
oh my God.
oh my
Did
gosh.
you like that?
I did. I
Yeah.
loved the fact
It's
that
assertive.
Yeah, it was very assertive.
like
It was
that.
I like
very, direct. And I did. I really liked it. And I was like, oh my God, like I love to know that. And then he was like, I know you're dating someone else, and I know that you're dating Jimmy, and I know all the things. Like, it's fine, it's whatever, but I needed you to know that this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Wow.
and that's why I respect him so much,
Yes.
And so then, like, I had a date with Jimmy after that.
And how that.
Did
about
Jimmy
that.
give a reason why he was breaking up?
He said, I came here to find my wife and not my best friend. He said, I feel like that we are such, like, we vibe together, we laugh together, all of that stuff. But, like, I came here to find my wife and not my best friend.
Do you think do you slide into best friend zone with a lot of guys? Like, are you getting friend zoned, or did this just happen based on the experiment?
Okay, you told me to not come humbly. No.
Yeah.
I've
No,
tried her.
guys are like pursuing you.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so then these two.
Man,
I
Jimmy must have been, after seeing you and Jess, like seeing these women. I'm sorry, Jimmy,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, like
men.
you probably did choke and you probably did need your
need
EpiPen
your EpiPen.
because
Yeah.
now that I know it was really like a square relationship, he must have been like, I am the biggest doof.
And it's,
Yeah.
he is kind of a doof, though.
What a flop.
What a
What a
flop. What a mess.
Flop.
This guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Somebody said he looks like someone tried to draw Bart Simpson from memory.
You know, so many
Yeah,
people
that's so
say that.
funny.
God bless him.
Like, what's going on? That's not true. With Jimmy, sometimes I'm like, oh, he looks real good. And then other times
I know.
Like, it just depends on the day.
It's just one of them.
Yeah, he
Because
is.
I think he actually does have a great kind of Southern boy personality.
Yeah.
It's giving like, if you love that traditional Southern like frat boy personality, that's your guy.
Yeah,
you know
maybe
what I
with
mean?
a hat or something. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. There's just ways that I definitely think
Yeah.
that he looks like better.
Yeah.
A better
Yeah.
Jimmy than
Yeah.
others. And that I could say that about a lot of the guys on the show. Sometimes I was like, oh, you look really good. And then other times I'm like,
Yeah, and
what
then
did
you
I
look
see
and
in
you're
him?
like, okay, never mind.
I was like, what
Yeah.
did I see in him? Never mind.
Right.
Wow, Jimmy, what a miss.
Right.
Speaking
right.
of
On
all these
all
people,
fronts.
Yes.
all the cast members, now that you know them all, you see
Yes.
them all.
Yeah.
Do you think any of them
No one.
should have paired up and would have been actually successful outside of Johnny and Amy?
So, one, I've also been asked this too.
Oh, dang.
Do I find no, not that question.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, because that was a viewer
Would-
question and we thought it was really
no,
good.
no. Would I have dated anyone else? Like physically
Oh, yeah.
attracted to anybody? No.
Nobody?
Nobody.
Out of the 15.
Nobody. Never.
Slim pickings, girl.
Yikes.
So then to that question, do I feel like anybody would have been a good pair?
Like, and maybe that they didn't even give each other a chance.
Would have seen Chelsea and Trevor
Me too.
actually working out.
I feel like it could have.
If he weren't already dating somebody
Yeah.
else
If-
and waiting for them.
If the situation would have not taken place with what happened, and like I honestly, like I said what I said to Trevor at the reunion, but with how he physically was presenting himself,
Yes.
I have let up off of him.
Okay.
And
Was he just in a really bad place?
Really
Just mentally
bad
Just a really bad place.
place
Okay.
for something that, really, really bad place. All
Is
capital.
he still with the other
all of
girl
that.
who he was talking
I have
to?
no idea.
Okay, I was just curious.
He's been like MIA.
Yeah.
The reunion was like kind of hitting him hard.
I was going to say, was it as uncomfortable?
It was even more.
Because
Okay.
watching it,
It
it
was-
was.
It was even more uncomfortable and even longer.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
God.
wondering
Yeah,
how much that
and
they
I was
edited
like,
out of the
and then
pauses.
at the time,
I mean, there was so much
after
silence.
I said something, I was like, shh.
Yeah.
You're like, should I go hug him?
Yeah.
Like he was in
So,
a bad spot. The
right.
fact that he asked to just leave the stage, I thought, okay, you're contractually
No,
obligated.
he was like talking about mental health stuff.
yeah.
Like it's like, yeah. So I was
he
like,
did
okay.
say he needed a lot of help. He's like, I have a lot of things to work out with myself. I've got to
Yeah.
go fix them. And so I'm glad, and I hope that he is.
And I pray that he is.
Yes.
I do.
Because I
And
really liked Trevor.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I do. I think that him and Chelsea probably would have at least went to the wedding.
Yes.
110%.
Yes.
If he didn't have the situation.
Yeah.
Because they just vibed.
They
They
did.
They got along.
And I felt like physically they matched better than
Yes.
her and Jimmy.
I
Like,
agree.
She said she wanted that like huge kind of strapping dude.
And Chelsea's like a rocker girl. Y'all, she's so cool. Like, I
Yeah.
love her.
She
and
seems
honestly,
great.
she has the best soul. She really does.
No, I
has
know
the
she
best
must
soul.
be great because all you girls like her.
Yeah.
So here's
Oh
the
my
thing,
gosh.
like even if she gets even if they highlight her most kind of negative moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the editing ends up making her look crazy to the viewer. For me, it's about how the other people on the show
Yeah.
like that person
In real
even
life.
outside of it, in real life.
Yeah.
And the fact that everyone was like, we love this girl. She's a show up kind of girl.
Yeah, she
Like,
really
She
is.
supports. I've seen her show up to some of y'all's events.
Yep.
I've seen her I think she was at Laura's
Yeah.
Girl Tribe launch. Like, if you're showing up, that's all you have to say to
Yeah.
me. Like, I see
Exactly.
it, and I know that you're a good person.
And I think too, and like even speaking to this, because like all of us, we're all in our, drive right now, is that if we can show up for one another, like because we're all so busy, like that's what means the most to me. Like
Yes.
Laura and Sunny and Mackenzie, like all of them, like and those that weren't even like showed with a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
Like those are my core people where they have been like Jess, she's busy, all of that. Like, but it's like when you show up for each other, it just
Yeah.
like exactly like you're saying.
all you
She's
need.
there and you show up, that's all you
you
need.
don't need to text me every day, but when I need you, do you come?
And also, this group of people are the only people that can understand what you've been
Yes.
through.
Yeah.
Because you can tell us all day about it, but unless you've lived it,
Yep.
no one else can understand.
So me, Jess, Laura, and Mackenzie, we're like we call ourselves like the little quad.
Yeah.
We used to talk about that. We're like, y'all, no one else would be able to go, or excuse me, not go, but be able to know what we went through.
Yes.
Because we were the only ones that went.
yes. Yes.
And it's like we have like this little bond.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I'm glad that y'all still have each other
Yeah.
outside of the show. And that's what's beautiful about everybody living in the same city.
Yes,
And
I
not
do
only
like
does
that.
it help the relationship to
We
not have to be
still
like, are
okay.
you going here or here? But it's the fact that everybody can have those friendships and really lean on a support system that's so close physically as well.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And in distance.
Okay, so are you dating now?
I have kind of been dating a little bit.
Do people know when they date you? Or, like, how aware are people that you've been on this show?
Aware.
They're aware.
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very much so aware.
Okay.
But nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing crazy. It's either like you know what's to be expected.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. Like I don't really have the time for like the casual, like let's go on a dinner date, like
Yeah.
that type. No.
No.
Like I don't have time for new people really
Yeah.
right now. And I don't mean that ugly. And I
No
kind
new
of hate
friends.
saying
No,
that.
NNF.
In and
Yeah.
out.
No
No
new
new
friends.
friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Everybody has a bandwidth, right? Everybody has a
Yeah.
certain amount of energy that they can give.
Right.
And if you're not even seeing your core people, then you don't have time to then introduce a new person into that. Because
no.
then
Right.
it's that yes means a no to this person. And
Right.
that yes means a no. And you're already going to have to do that enough with business, with Empowered, with showing up for events, with doing more clients.
Yes.
Like all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff's already going to happen. And we have the similar problem. And again, not going to be humble about it, where people do want to be our friends.
Yeah, honestly,
They wanna be around us.
and that's okay that
We
you say
sparkle.
that.
We
Yeah,
sparkle,
Hell
and that's,
do.
it's the truth.
Hell, that's why I'm here. 'Cause I
know.
want to be your friend.
I get it, and maybe. Well, okay.
We're gonna
we can make some. What's the word I'm
Strike
looking for?
it.
Yeah, Matt, strike it.
Yeah.
Brittany's okay.
One new friend.
Yeah, one. Only one.
ONF.
Yep. ONF instead of NNF.